Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to a special edition of the Renegade Arcade. This is Kiona, along with Brock,
Yo.
appearing for the first time, and we have Zane, also appearing for the first time,
How we doing?
and we have the old mainstays, Josh and Crystal.
Hey.
What's up?
All right, guys, so we are here not to talk about news. We are here to talk about The Last of Us 2. And this is probably our final word on The Last of Us 2, unless Tony has something to say in the next arcade. So we are going to be just going down all of the spoilers of the game, all of the plot points, everything that we want to talk about. We're going to dissect it. We're going to murder it. We're going to take an axe and chop it in the back, just like Ellie does. And we're going to sit there and just seethe with rage until somebody hits the square button. Hit the damn square button, somebody. Okay. Anyway, so I guess that makes us Nora, or does that make us Ellie?
Depending
makes us
on how
Ellie,
much you like
actually.
getting hit in the face with a pipe.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. She did hit Tommy in the face 3 times. She pistol whipped him 3 times.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so that's why I got mad at her, because I was like, wait, she was there, and then I saw like a video of that scene, and then I was like, holy crap, I'm glad Ellie did what she did. No,
Yeah.
Tommy got just messed up, man. It was not fun. Anyway, okay, guys, so there you go. We're already talking spoilers. So if you guys did not play through the game, sorry, but what are you doing here? It's
Exactly.
the Last of Us 2 spoiler cast. All right, unless you're just here to say that you hate the game, which, I guess is your right as long as you played it. Did you give it a fair chance? Did you not?
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, all right, guys. So let's start with our general feelings about the game. You guys know my feelings because I wrote up the review, which was it was a very spoiler-intensive review. I will say that since then I haven't really played the game, so I'm coming at it from the perspective of somebody who put a lot of time into it and then just kind of stopped and then just watched a lot of videos about it. And I'm sort of still working out how I feel about it overall. But I think it's a positive for me. I think it's a game that I like, but I don't love it as much as I love the first one. So where do you guys stand on that?
I will say, this is the first game that I had an emotional time while I was attempting to finish it. I try not to say I use the word like a lot because I really love a lot because I really get into things. I really, really did like the game, but I was irritated towards the end of it because it kind of returned to the king to me twice.
Yeah.
But after I played through it a second time, I understood that I liked it and I got why it did what it did and what it was going for. Could it have probably had a couple of parts rewritten? Sure, but that's coming from a point of I don't know what they could have done, but it was a game that did what it wanted to do and I liked what it did. So it was a game I thoroughly enjoyed.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Zane, how did you feel?
So for me, I'm no stranger to these kind of emotional narratives. Heavy Rain, since I played that, I think in about like 2012, that's been my favorite game, period. Ever since then, I played it like 3 times in a row, even though it emotionally crushed me every time. But I don't know, it was just one of those experiences where you just totally get invested in the characters. The certain gameplay moments really just stick out, and I felt like this was, if not an experience transcendent to that, certainly an experience on the same level. Perhaps not my game of the year quite yet. Of course, we still got Ghost of Tsushima coming out. We have Cyberpunk coming out as well, and I absolutely love Doom Eternal. I might be the only guy here in that camp.
I love it too.
But I do think this is easily the greatest game of all time for reasons I'm excited to get into.
Old claim.
Crystal, I want you to get into your
Well,
thoughts.
my thoughts were, I think they did a wonderful job with the writing. I loved the gameplay. I just loved the game. I loved it. I didn't really see a lot of what people were complaining about it because I think they wrote the characters to be very human. There's no good guys and there's no bad guys. And that I commend them for. So, yeah, those are my thoughts.
And as for me, I love the game wholesale. I went into it knowing the leaks for the most part, and I don't know, even reading the leaks all the way back then, I figured there was something that needed to be experienced, because it's like reading a Wikipedia article instead of going to go see a movie that you really want to see. It's like, that sounds really dumb. They just blow up the Death Star. Rosebud was the sled he used as a kid. I don't want to watch it. That sounds stupid, but
Darth Vader was his father?
Huh?
but getting to experience it and getting to just go along on the journey, I was just so enthralled, and I loved every minute. Well, not every minute of playing the game. I'll admit if there's one big issue that I have with the game, it's probably pacing.
Yeah.
Especially in the second half of the game. There's 2 sections I think they could have just cut down entirely. But other than that, I was in love with the game, and I shared a lot of the anger halfway through when the big reveal happens and things turn back time. But even then, like, I wanted to see where it was going from there, and I haven't felt this emotionally charged since ever playing a video game. Like, it's been almost a month since we bought it, since we finished it even, and I still think about it. I'm making a video about Naughty Dog because of it. So it's just so extreme and in my head, and I adore it.
Just gotta plug yourself in there. Why don't you?
Well, I'm going to do a shameless plug too, and I'm going to say that I actually got to voice a couple lines in that video.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah, reading off some of Neil Druckmann's quotes. So
Our fearless leader of the website is also the fearless leader of the narrative.
oh
Nice.
boy, I just don't give me all of that negative attention, please. Jeez, people are gonna like send out like death threats on Twitter, and then I'm gonna be like, no, I just voiced him in a video, guys. I'm not him.
You
I didn't
agree
even
with
have
them.
the
That's what
accents.
matters.
Neil Druckmann, he's an awesome guy. I actually really like him. I think that he's done pretty good work, you know. I do think, okay, I don't want to get too negative yet, so let's not, you know, I don't want to be the negative Nancy here, even though that's pretty much what I am. But let's talk about, before we get into the story, let's talk about the gameplay. What do you guys think of the combat? What do you guys think of the exploration, the scavenging, you know, just the nuts and bolts of the gameplay here? Because this is a video game. I mean, I feel like there are some people who really love it for its story and are like, they're just forgetting that it's a video game. That it's like, this is a mechanical exercise where there are obstacles in front of you and you have to surpass the obstacles in whatever way you can.
Yeah.
And to me, that was how I got through the game, and that was how I pushed through like Abby's section, because I did not want to play as Abby. I was very upset that they actually put me in the role. I mean, that was the whole point of it, was to make you upset. You know, you're supposed to feel that way, especially with her last line to Ellie. So, you know, before the switch happens. But anyway, just, you know, give me your thoughts on the combat gameplay.
I feel like you had something to say, Josh.
I loved it, and I think it's a beautiful extension of the first game. I was telling everybody before we started recording, but yeah, just you don't realize how much it's improved until you've played the first game again. And it's probably one of the best stealth games I've ever played, and I make a bold claim in saying that I think it handles the stealth segments way better than Metal Gear Solid 5. Just the intensity of the situations, of the scenarios that you're thrust in as Ellie and Abby are so tense. There are multiple points playing the game that I was sweating to my core, just like, oh my God, please, just let me get past this. Just let me get through. And then you discover explosive arrows, and it just kind of breaks the game. But there's 2 things that I think break the game in both scenarios. For Ellie's, it's the explosive arrows, and for Abby, I don't even know the regular name of the gun because I kept calling it the pirate gun.
Oh, the hunting pistol?
The hunting pistol.
I think the pirate gun is a much better name.
When you can just craft the ammo for both of them, it changes the whole game, and you're able to more or less mow through people, but it's still pretty goddamn intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about too. It's the Rat King. The freaking Rat King.
Oh God.
It just went full on Resi right there.
Oh my God.
To quote Troy Baker, whatever the fuck that thing is in the hospital.
Have you guys seen the mocap of that?
No.
No.
I have to
I
watch
gotta find
that.
the picture of it and I'll send it
Oh,
to the group
boy.
chat. But it's like one person like flipped over on their back on top of two people who are like kind of separated, but they have like their left and right legs tied together.
Whoa.
And that little hybrid guy that jumps off of it when you do enough damage to the Rat King, and then the little hybrid shambler slash.
Soccer.
I
Oh,
almost pissed my pants. that was.
I hated
Oh,
that
sad.
guy.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
oh my god.
I
That was
had to leave
although-
the room as soon as I saw it. I was like, no, I'm not gonna deal with this right now.
although every time it ripped Abby in half, I was like, respect.
That was one of those things that kind of reminded me of Doom in a way, just the sort of
That was
boss fight that you just don't see coming. Just like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I'm having to deal with this, and
Yeah.
then you
the
just
Rat
adds
King
the
was the
sheer,
marauder.
the gore of it. Oh god.
I think the funny thing is that when we got to that segment of the game, I remember Crystal, when she left the room, I think she went to the group chat and she said, "What the fuck is this Doom Eternal shit in my
Yeah,
life?"
yeah. Yeah, messages the group chat that. And I was like, out of nowhere too, and I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, oh, you must mean that guy.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect because it's like he said, I'm a huge fan of Resident Evil, and that was the first time where I kind of went, okay, that's a little bit different. What the hell is okay? It's got 5 faces. What the fuck?
And then it makes that noise, and as Abby is walking by and all the doors are locked, and she's like, what is that? And then you like go into like, you know, the super hearing mode or something, or the X-ray vision mode, and
Yeah.
it's just like, and you see this big ball of whatever, and I'm just like, oh,
Yeah, and
I
then
don't
like,
know.
and speaking of like the gore part, where like before you even see it, I was kind of like, something's messed up down here because you have that like carved out wall of corpses and a blood trail before you get to it, and I'm like,
That looks like a nest.
yeah, exactly.
I was like, where's Jill? Jill!
Exactly.
It was like fighting. It was like if the poster for the thing was a boss battle.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It was-
I sent it to the group chat.
Oh, wait.
Oh my god.
You almost
Yeah.
became an Abby sandwich.
It's more like an Abby smoothie.
Uh,
I will say, like, one thing that I really loved in the gameplay was how they switched up Abby's and Ellie's segments. Like, before we got together, I was watching the girlfriend reviews video of The Last of Us 2, because they did another part where they actually review the game, and she was talking about how in Ellie's segments you're really focused on survival and stealth and all that, but in Abby's they kind of shaped the gameplay around her training as a soldier.
Oh yeah.
And it really matched at that point because I was still very angry of playing as Abby. So I just decided, you know what? I'm not going to spend this whole time focusing on being stealthy. Abby doesn't strike me as that type of person. So every chance I could, I would just shoot people and I wouldn't feel guilty about it. But one thing that I really loved is how distinct Abby was, just in how she's this big hulking thing. It's a thesis statement that I try to get at, but you know, she's this monster that we've built an image of in our minds. And when you play as her, you find out, wait, she's afraid of heights? You go to a tall ledge. I found it accidentally. I'll admit I wasn't paying attention, so I don't remember if they mentioned it earlier in the dialogue. You look down from a high ledge, and then I noticed, wait, that's a weird vertigo effect that they're doing.
Yep.
Oh shit, that's so cool. And then that pays off later on with Lev and her going into the hospital.
God, don't fucking remind me.
I think
I have an extreme fear of heights, so that part killed me.
Yeah.
to add to what you were saying, Josh, I think a big thing for me with that switch in gameplay to Abby was that Abby plays like Joel, but kind of has the emotional depth of Abby or of Ellie from the first game. But then Ellie plays like herself from the first game, just with upgrades, but kind of has that anger of Joel from the first game.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
you know, it's all thematic and tying into one another, just from not only a narrative perspective, but also in how they operate in terms of gameplay. So that was a big thing Me.
those little things that they do, like when Abby stealth kills somebody, and when she like, they're like, just take it easy now, and she's like, shut up, and then she just like stabs him in the throat, and that little flick afterwards every time where the blood just goes gushing out.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, don't piss this girl off, man.
Yeah, when you're talking about the switching, one thing that I talked about a friend of mine, and it really hit me when you're on the Seraphite Island and you're going over when you're riding the horse with Levin going over.
Yeah.
Ellie is, like you said, it seemed like a survival game. Abby's to a point kind of felt like I was playing Uncharted in The Last of Us at points.
Yeah.
I would
With
agree with
set
that.
pieces
I
and
thought
like,
that was kind of cool. They made sure you got both versions of it, because one part that I will admit that I missed in Ellie's, but I totally get it, and they made parts out of it. Like in Ellie's, you're stuck in the same areas, but they made a point of it because you read all these notes about like Zane and all these people, so you get to get a perspective of people as it changed. Abby, you kind of had the travel aspect of the first game, sort of, where you got to go to all these areas and then pick up Lev and stuff like that. So it was kind of similar. But yeah, you had the big bombastic moments, and the two parts in Abby's, I almost had to put my controller down. One, I did have to. I have a unbridled, unparalleled fear of heights. So I was right there with her when she's like, are you fucking, like, Lev, we're 40 stories up right now and we got to go up more? And then you go across the scaffolding
crazy.
with supports, and then they ask you to do that part where you have to go across without anything. I set the controller down. I went, got some, collected myself, and I'm like, all right, I can't see the ground. We're fine. 2 seconds later, the clouds peer away. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Come on. And then you get into that, like, I want to say like apartment or like hotel, and you have to go through the part where like the clickers and stalkers are like stuck to the walls and get at you at certain points. I'd never been more happy to take that gas mask off than when we finally got out of there, because jump scares in movies don't get me. My cousins are like 16 years older than me, so jump scares in movies got trained clean out of me by them being jerks when I was younger. In video games, when I'm controlling, it gets me, and that got me a good 4 to 5 times.
There was one jump scare in particular with Ellie where she walks into like a bathroom or something, and then all of a sudden, just as she opens the door, then the clicker or the stalker jumps out. And I was like, holy crap. I was like, this game, man, shut up. Shut up, Last of Us 2. Stop it.
The worst jump scare was going on the workbench.
I didn't get that because I killed everybody.
Like, yeah,
I cleared out the level.
And
I killed everybody, and so nobody got me.
We're at a work table. We're safe. And then I hear something coming from the distance. I'm like, oh, shit.
That was yours? For me, it was when we went to that apartment, and then we set off like that little bottle trap thing, and we're like, oh crap!
But that was
what
another work table.
But yeah, but for it was like at the gas station.
Yeah, that was the first time it happened.
For me, it was that one didn't scare me nearly as much because I was like, okay, just hurry up. But it was when we went to the apartment and we knew we set off the trap, but we didn't know where it was coming from. I even made a point to check everything to make sure everything was good.
We checked every inch of that place.
And I thought, okay, let's go ahead. Let's start working on this thing. Let me upgrade my shotgun. Oh, fuck, what the fuck is that? And then they killed me. Well, they tried to kill me.
No, you died.
I died?
Yeah, you died.
I died.
Like, I failed. I was upgrading my shotgun one day, and then suddenly...
Yeah, that was the worst. And do you guys remember the big fight on the Seraphite Island?
Which one?
When you're like surrounded by flames and like this huge guy with like a sickle or something?
Oh, that guy.
The all melee fight?
Loves that.
Yeah.
That horrible guy.
Sucked. I did not like that because I know it's weird because I'm going to school for forensic science, but I don't like seeing gore as it happens. Like, I'm okay with seeing it like after the fact once the person's dead, but
as it's
seeing it as it's happening.
She
and,
sliced that scar open?
Slicing his face open and then like...
You want to know how I got these scars?
And then seeing her slash his back, oh god.
and then when when you're I forget if you're on top or if the guy gets on top and then you grab them from like the slit.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
It's like, why won't this guy die?
Yeah, he was a tough one.
Uh-huh.
He was a tough enemy.
He's a tough cookie.
There's moments in the game where you're just like, how did this even get a rated M?
Yeah.
Not only just from the gore, but I mean, of course, we'll get into the narrative, but like when Ellie kills Mel, and he's like, this is some adult shit. Like I would probably let a 14-year-old play most rated M games. Well, I'm like, I wouldn't let a kid play this shit.
Not this one. Yeah.
Like
Even
Grand
just
Theft
the
Auto.
What was that?
Like Grand Theft Auto is a cartoon. Like people get so up in arms about, oh, you know,
You can kill hookers.
you can bang and then kill a hooker. You can get drunk and then go for a drive. You can kiss another man in a school and bully. But this game where you know
You kill dogs.
you kill dogs, you kill pregnant women. Oh my god!
And you don't just like you see them off in the distance, you shoot them. No, it's personal. It's like right there.
And then when
stab them.
And then when you kill the dog, the owner gets upset.
Oh,
but if you kill the owner, then the dog goes.
The dog starts whining.
Up full on Simba Mufasa's the corpse if you wait long enough too. Like to try and get it some.
Exactly. I exploited that all the time.
What? You're so cruel, you monster.
I mean, that was the best way to do it because you just take out the owner with a bow and arrow. Okay, I'm good.
New enemy types. That's what it was. Oh man, I don't know.
Depression.
Oh.
So basically, Neil Druckmann should pay all of our therapy bills.
Yes. He's got the money for it.
I mean, really, Neil, you should, sir.
I've seen.
That's how you can make it up to us.
What if somebody actually does that? Sues him for emotional distress.
It could be possible.
Emotional duress. I could see it.
Yeah.
The only person that would do it though is like people that hated this game from the beginning and from like the.
What was the guy who's suing Twitch? He'd probably do it.
That guy, yeah, he would probably.
if there's like one thing, god damn, I had a thing I was gonna say and I forgot it.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. Oh no, I remember. So one thing I remember a lot of people saying, like right as the game was coming out, because they had read the leaks, they had seen everybody saying like, oh, you could kill dogs. They're intentionally trying to make you feel bad. Oh, and they come up with backstories for the dogs too, so you feel even twice as badder. Naughty Dog. And I think there was a quote from Neil Druckmann or somebody saying that at Naughty Dog they don't use the word fun, which I imagine was just like snarky interview kind of stuff, But
yeah, he was saying that something about like they don't use fun to describe this game. They don't use the word fun, which I mean, there was a game designer who actually came out like years ago and who said that if we want video games to move forward as a medium, we need to stop looking at them as just fun.
Yeah.
And I think that was Will Wright or somebody like that who said that. I forget if it was him, but it was somebody that's kind of like a luminary in the field.
Yeah. And that's why I hold this game in such high regard, because I just feel like this is the antithesis of what a normal video game is.
Yeah.
To where, bring up something like Doom again, you're just killing demons, you're killing indiscriminately, you don't care. It's like, you are the obstacle, I'm taking you out. And I mean, that's how you play the first half of this game as Ellie. But then once you start to play as Abby, everything gets flipped on you and you're reflecting on what you did as Ellie. And you're like, wow, the people that I killed, even though they're NPCs, they mean nothing to you while you're playing as Ellie. They all actually have a background. They're all intertwined with other characters and even the character you're now playing as. So, I mean, just the fact that it takes that route, to which I've never played that in a video game where I'm consciously thinking about that, because obviously now we have experiences like maybe like Mass Effect or now what Assassin's Creed is doing, excuse me, where, you'll have to make choices and that might affect a certain group or a certain character you've gotten close to. This is just all up in your face with, hey, sometimes we do shit and it affects other people, and it really sucks.
There was one thing that I saw like on a take about the gameplay and the violence and everything from a friend of mine named Michelle Kishner. I hope to God I'm pronouncing your name right, Michelle. I'm sorry. We tried to get her on the on the Final Fantasy VII remake Spoilercast, but
I
we
wish we
just
could
got
have.
busy. But she had finished the game and she was talking about what she saw was an interesting bit of like a commentary on violence in the game industry, like in video games, through a segment where you remember that girl that Ellie kills with the Vita and she's playing
Yeah.
Hotline Miami.
Hotline Miami.
And she was talking about how it's kind of interesting with that switch because with Hotline Miami, the violence is very cartoony, very poppy and insane. But then when you kill that girl, the violence is so brutal and realistic and harrowing to just listen to. She said she listened to it with like, I guess headphones, kind of like how you're wearing, Kiona. So you could actually hear like the minutia of the gurgles too. So just like that interesting contrast of somebody playing a very hyper stylized violent game, but it's fun. And this one where the violence is just graphic and horrifying.
And even then, when she kills that girl with a Vita, she's like, "Oh fuck, you shouldn't have done that."
Yeah,
you know,
that was stupid,
yeah, and that's such a little thing, but that even in that moment, that was powerful for me because just like you get the sense that Ellie didn't even want to do that.
No.
And the best part about that, not saying the best part about that was when she killed a pregnant woman, but after she kills after she kills Mel, she unzips a jacket and she instantly starts dry heaving. She's like, that's the worst thing I've done in my life. She is on the ground, inconsolable, and almost flips out when Tommy sees her.
She didn't know that Mel was pregnant.
Yeah, she's just like, what did I do? I just fucked up bad.
That's why, I mean, it's like, okay, Ellie does horrible things in this game, but like, she's obviously traumatized. Yep. She's obviously not dealing with what she needs to deal with. And she's trying to give tribute to a man who's her whole relationship with him had kind of broken down. And now she's trying to rebuild that. And she's trying to like find that place within herself where she's trying to reconcile what he did and how angry she was at him and trying to forgive him. And now he's not there.
Yep. So
it's guilt and it's trauma and it's PTSD from him dying in front of her. I mean, like, when Abby says, and Nora says, we let you live. It's like, yeah, you guys killed my dad in front of me. It's
What did you think?
It's kind of like, what did you think I was going to do? So
interesting.
But that's the cycle. That's the cycle that this game is trying to say, like, the cycle exists. And this is what happens when you perpetuate revenge and vengeance and insane levels of violence against your fellow human being.
Yeah, when you want to get a good perspective on a lot of this, Greg Miller, the Kind of Funny Spoilercast, there's a lot of good stuff in there. And one thing they talked about was two things. Ellie in this game is trying to be Joel when she's not.
Yes.
Exactly.
And there's points where you're irritated at Ellie. It's not because, in my opinion, the writing's bad. It's because Ellie's making a decision that she's going to regret, and you're irritated at Ellie, but you get it. But it's just like, I wish you weren't doing this. There's points where you're kind of just like, that's not going to turn out well. It's not going to, you get why it's happening, but yeah.
And another thing that they talked about that they mentioned was that, like, when they mentioned that she's like an addict and she's going down that path that addicts go down, which is they just go deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole until they hit rock bottom. And that's when you realize, oh crap, my life is a mess.
Yep.
And I'm not dealing with things the way I need to be dealing with them. And I think that that's the reason why, for me, I have empathy for Ellie as well as Abby. And I think that a lot of people maybe are missing that, or not a lot of people, but I mean, there's some people out there that seem to be missing that idea that, like, Ellie's not a monster. She's a human being who's been through hell, basically. I mean, not only did she lose Joel, not only did she go through all the things that she's gone through in this game, she also almost got eaten by Nathan Drake's voice actor. By David.
Yeah,
but I mean, Nolan North, who was great as David, by the way. I mean, just listening to it, he's so creepy. He's so creepy in that game. I thought he did a great performance. But yeah, I mean, she was a very traumatized kid, and she got bitten and didn't die from it. So I mean, That's
No,
kind of
watched
messed
her
up
And her
too.
friend did.
Yeah, watch your
And her
best
friend did.
get
Yeah.
killed. Ugh.
Riley. Yeah.
Watched her turn while she wasn't.
But
Probably didn't
So
kill her.
I
yeah.
actually wouldn't say that it's wrong for people to necessarily think that Ellie is the villain or antagonist of the game.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna bring up Doom probably like 20 more times.
That's okay. Go ahead. Go
But,
ahead, man. We can
but
talk
you
about
know,
Doom.
in Doom 2016,
Yeah.
they established that no, the Doomslayer is the bad guy because he's coming into their territory and killing all of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's similar to Ellie in this game, to where Ellie's the one going up to Seattle and messing everything up. Everybody
Yeah.
else is doing their thing. Abby's already moved on because
They
she
actually have bigger
realized,
fish to fry.
right?
Yeah.
She realized that killing Joel didn't necessarily bring her the closure that it needed to,
Yeah.
and that's where we go on the path with Yara and Lev to get that redemption for her, to bring that closure.
Yeah.
Ellie's just going up there, and she never gets that, at least in that section of the game, and I don't even
Yeah.
think she really gets that closure until she sits down with the guitar at the end. I don't even think it's when she doesn't kill Abby. You know?
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think that I think what's interesting about it is that Abby's quest for vengeance is mirrored by Ellie later on, or is followed by Ellie's quest for vengeance, and that's the cycle. But Abby, in some ways, is justified. I don't think she's completely unjustified in how she feels. I think that how she feels is also human because Joel killed her father. Okay, so this kind of brings me back to Last of Us 1. And how did you guys feel about the end of Last of Us 1? Where do you think Joel was in terms of the game itself? Do you think he was heroic? Do you think he was villainous? Do you think he was neither?
Okay, so I don't know if it was in this. I've never had a video game moment where I felt more emotionally charged to wipe out an entire building than when they go. So, by the way, while you're out, Ellie's in surgery. You can't say bye to her, and to make the cure,
Yeah.
we have to kill her. Peace. Go walk out the building. I'm like, no, you're all dead.
Oh
No,
yeah.
no, it's done.
That's
I don't care if
ridiculous.
I have to do it with my bare hands. You're all dead.
That's my point with the first game, is that they were idiots about how they told him, and that just goes into this one too. When they have the flashback, and when they have what's her name? Marlene, thank you. When they have Marlene, appear, which was great, by the way. It was good to see her.
Didn't expect that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Me too. I was like, holy crap, it's Marlene. I was like, yay, she got a role. But just the fact that she had misgivings too. And she was telling Abby's father, if it was your daughter, would you do it? And Abby then goes on and tells him, yes, I would let you do it. But the thing is, Ellie didn't have that conversation. And also, if Marlene had all those reservations, why didn't she go to Joel and say, and be more sympathetic with him, or be more just tell him
you have no idea how this makes me feel.
Yeah.
I think what they did in the first game to make up for that, because I'll admit, when we were playing through the first game again for my friend, we got to that point, and I wanted to see if there were any writings or anything, and there actually are entries that you see, journals of Marlene talking about how she lost most of her crew, and pretty much the Fireflies were on the brink of just total collapse. And then here's this opportunity to think that that she was spending her whole life fighting for, finally coming to fruition. And she was even conflicted, but she just ultimately decided, just fuck it. I'm tired of all the bloodshed. I'm tired of everything that the world has been going through. If this is what it takes, so be it. And getting to at least read those things made it a little bit more justifiable. But yeah, that one guard just gilded the lily too much, where it's man, fuck you.
Yeah.
And it's and right before, you talk about, with would you do this with your daughter? And even at the end of it, one thing that I really liked was Marlene goes, well, I'm going to go tell Joel. And then the dad goes, why? He just took that girl halfway across the country, and you're not going to have me tell him? What? Come on now.
So Abby's dad was basically Dr. Dick.
He was
Dr. Dick Cockington III.
But
I mean, they tried to make him sympathetic with the whole zebra thing, but he couldn't answer her when she said, what if it was Abby? because he knew that he would fight
Yeah,
the
he
nail
wouldn't have done it.
to
He
save
wouldn't
her.
That's the one thing I loved about the decision with Abby's character and the reasoning why Joel dies. Because I think we talked about this when we started playing, and I told you when it got to that reveal, like, okay, so this is one of the things that was leaked and people were upset about. They said it was lazy writing. You said something, Crystal, that stuck with me, which was it makes it seem like every character, like any character, has their own story going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Exactly.
there's always something going on. There's always a stretch, and some people are the villain
Mhm.
in other people's stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing that someone told me was the point where Ellie looks like a villain to everyone is when she pulls out the switchblade on Lev when Abby won't fight her. It's like, are you serious? Like, that's
I think that's an act of desperation.
yeah,
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was desperate.
yeah,
I think that she was just like, we're gonna finish this. You know, I don't
Yeah.
care who I have to threaten or what I have to do.
And not even the we're gonna finish this, more like I'm gonna finish
I'm
this
gonna
for
finish
my
this,
own
yeah.
closure.
Mhm.
True. Because it's like Abby is so like she's not the Abby that we know at that point.
Yeah, it makes me think of the beginning of well, not the beginning, the end of part 1, where Ellie says that everyone has either died or left me, and it feels like self-fulfilling prophecy because by the end
Yeah.
of part 2, she's completely alone. Everyone has either died or left her.
That's the cost.
Mhm.
That's the cost of seeking vengeance.
To answer the larger question, because I don't think I did, how did I feel at the end of part 1? I was on Joel's side,
Mhm.
but playing through it again, and it's something I touch on in my video that I'm doing, I didn't realize why the ending to part 1 works so well until I got to play as Ellie again. Because playing through Ellie right after playing through Joel's bit, in all honesty, that whole last bit before we get to Ellie talking to Joel about Riley and everything,
Mhm.
that could have just been a cutscene. But getting to play as Ellie and doing the long walk to the hilltop to Jackson and just marinating through everything, it's like the gameplay at that point says, okay, you know what you did. You know you're justified in what you did as Joel, but what does Ellie think of it? You know for a fact, if you're smart enough, that Ellie knows something's up. And you have to spend that whole walk basically in deep thought like Ellie is. Does she know? Does she know the extent of what happens? Is she okay with it and everything?
I think that she knew because I think that there's that moment at the end of the first game where he tells her the lie and she looks at him and she just kind of stands there and just does that long look at his face, like, and we're looking at her face, and you can see it in her eyes and you can see it in that little head nod. It's the head nod that gets me. It's that little like, okay, because it's like she's processing it and she's going over it in her head and she's like, it doesn't make sense, but I'll accept it because I know that you love me and I love you as a father, and so that's, and so she accepts it. I think that she knew, and I think that this game in a way presents it as if she didn't know, but I think she always did, but I think she blinded herself to it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. She wouldn't have asked
Yeah,
at
I
the
mean,
end of the
she-
first game.
Right.
Had she not known. I mean, it was just more of a just like, hey, are you going to tell me the truth or not?
No,
She
yeah,
might,
yeah.
That, okay, fine.
But I mean, I'm talking about like the second game, like in the second game where they kind of present it as like, well, she's looking for a definitive answer from him.
oh yeah, yeah.
I think that there's like
Yeah.
certain points where it seems like maybe she didn't know, but I don't think that that's the case. I think she did know, but she just blinded herself from that knowledge, or she just willfully like didn't give it the time of day
Yeah.
until she was
doesn't wanna
just
accept it.
until she was just to the point where she was like, I need to know the truth because
She
this
knew
is
something
bugging.
was screwy. She just didn't know exactly how screwy it was.
Right.
Like, that's
Right,
always going to eat at you if you never know. And you can see through those flashbacks in the second game, like, she can on some level like kind of move past it and see Joel as a loving person, but there's always going to be that part of her that's going to be like, but what if
There's
what
still
if
that
it was?
Right. Yeah. There's still
And
that tension between them and that awkwardness, which was, I was like, wow, they really like their relationship just crumbled after that.
And something you just made me think about, Josh, is
Mhm.
Ellie's sort of just like a natural skeptic. Like, it's
Yeah.
just kind of in her
Yeah.
nature to question everything, because especially in Left Behind, when she's talking to Riley about Marlene and the Fireflies, she's kind of having that, I don't really know. There's kind of some shady shit going on with all that.
Even her views on religion.
Right, yeah.
You remember that? She would talk to Sam
Yep.
about
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And she said that I like to believe it.
Yeah, I'm very much like her. I'm
Mhm.
very much like Ellie in that sense, where it's like I'd like to believe it, but
Yeah,
it's doubtful.
yeah, there was a lot of good stuff in that talk she had with Sam, especially then the "What's your biggest fear?" ending up alone, and then it gets to that, and then
Ooh.
I totally forgot that line existed until I watched the video that I sent you guys, and I'm like, mother, now I'm crying. I forgot all about that.
That sequence with Sam, that was the first time that the first game really got me. Was like, and then
You weren't ready.
That transition.
I wasn't ready for
back
that.
to Ball and, ugh.
I was
I love the
watching
fact that she had.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Zane.
I was just gonna say, I was watching this video the other day. I forget which YouTuber it was, but they were going over The Last of Us Part 1, and when you're in that store with Henry and Sam, and he's playing with the toy, and Henry's like, "No, stop playing with the toy." Or maybe I'm conflating the names. Am I?
No,
Henry's the older one, I believe.
Okay, Henry's the older one. Cool.
Yeah.
And Henry's telling him, don't worry about that. We only take what we need. And if you stay in that room long enough, she'll go over to pick up the toy. So it's kind of those little things. But anyway, it was just
wait for a second, look back. She stands back up.
Yeah.
It's cool stuff.
It's the best. Another thing that.
And she kept it.
Yeah, she kept it until. But what I was thinking is, everybody here agrees that Joel did the right thing by
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you really look at the full picture, the best, the happiest ending would have been to let Ellie die.
Yeah, but there's no guarantee that they would have made the cure.
I talked with that about a friend of mine too. Even if they made the cure, 1, how are you going to distribute it?
That's my thing.
2, how is that not going to get corrupted as all shit as a power play for people to use it on others? And 3, who on earth is going to believe it works? Also 4, sorry, I'm getting more out of this. In the second game, Nora was within seconds of dying when she breathed in 2 spores.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a point blank vaccine that works on everybody right away? Do you just have a clicker on a chain on the wall going, all right, we're going to let it bite you, then see if it works? How? If Ellie died and it didn't work, are you kidding me?
And then let's say it does work. Then we just get later mutations on people that have never gotten the vaccine. That's how we got the Rat King.
There you go.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yep. So in a way, if you look at it, then Joel was completely right.
Ah.
So when Troy Baker did the Last of Us 2, the one night only live performance, and you could hear him say, "When I'm wrong," after they did the ending scene, they did the reenactment of that.
That's funny.
Well, Troy Baker, you were actually right.
Yeah,
Joel was right.
And if you listen to Game Theory, the vaccine.
It's just a theory, a game theory.
Now,
pushes up her glasses.
We love you, Matt Pat.
I do have something I want to bring up, and on that note of whether or not Joel did the right thing, this is a thing that I think we're all pretty split on. But would you say Abby is still the main antagonist of the game?
I don't think it has one,
Yeah.
in my opinion. The world kind of is just a shit place to me.
The world is kind of your main antagonist.
The Rattlers were. There you go. That's
there
the most evil thing there. They just sucked.
Yeah, the Rattlers were pretty terrible.
For what?
Yeah.
The Rattlers, the California clan that kidnapped Abby, and
Yeah,
They were horrible.
sucked.
Before we move on, was anybody else shocked that the dog, the bounty hunter looking guy, never even got a name?
Yeah. Who played him?
I don't know.
Does anybody know? That was Travis Willingham?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
my God.
Wow.
I did not realize that. Laura Bailey got her husband a job.
I ask that because I really do believe that Abby was the main antagonist, just in the sense that she's this dark mirror of Ellie.
For Ellie, maybe. But then there's a point in the game where you fight Ellie with as Abby, and Ellie is the boss. And I'm like, okay, this is pissing me off, but it's also kind of impressing me because it's kind of a stroke of genius. I was like, this is so manipulative, Neil Druckmann, but at the same time, you're a genius, Neil Druckmann, but at the same time, I want to hit you in the face, Neil Druckmann, but at the same time, I want to give you a hug, Neil Druckmann, because you're so damn good at manipulating my emotions, Neil Druckmann.
It really forces you to, and that's the thing that I think a lot of people that I bring up, I brought this up a lot of times in the past week, and I'm bringing it up in my video, but I think a lot of people confuse sympathy with empathy. Like a lot of people keep saying, oh, the game forces you to sympathize with Abby, and you think that her quest for vengeance was, heroic and she was rewarded in the end. And no, she wasn't. Abby shows what happens when you do all that. She loses everybody. Yeah. She drives everyone away. People hate her. And the one person that really believed in her, who was a piece of shit, Owen, he ends up dying.
Oh my God.
Hey, that was just an entanglement.
No.
Oh yeah, and by the way, that sex scene we were not prepared for at
all.
No,
neither was I. Not at all.
My 11-year-old sister was in the room, and I was like, oh.
I was like, what is this? The Order 1866? 1886?
That was so weird. Before we go on from Loss, I want to ask something. I'm talking pure just level. Who lost more?
Ellie.
I was just, a friend of mine brought it up to me, and they're like, from pure amount of like love in a person, Ellie lost Joel, Dina, Potato, which I'm pretty sure they refer to more than Potato was JJ in the entire game. Lost basically Jackson, and then they're like, Abby lost the WLF, Owen, Nora, her other friends Manny, that I can't remember their names at the current moment. And I was just like, I still think it's Ellie, but it's like, Abby got both of them got their lives ruined, and I was trying to compare weights, and I'm like, it gets close, but
The only difference is that Abby is on her way out of that dark pit, and I guess Ellie is too, but she's just starting to come back from it. And Abby is like, at least she has Lev.
Yeah.
At the very least, she has Lev, and she has the Fireflies.
What
and
made
the title screen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Title screen, yeah.
The title screen after the game is done. I think that shows that Abby and Lev made it. But it also kind of shows that Ellie made it in a way. Because we all made it. We all made it through the murky waters of revenge.
I think we could, at least for me personally, definitively say that it's Ellie who loses more. And it's the gameplay moment. Because you go through this motion of playing that guitar, you're doing your thing. You do it 3-4 times the entire game. And then you finally get to the end. This is Ellie's last coping mechanism, and she cannot do it because she's missing 2 fingers. And playing it myself, I was just, trying to go through.
I didn't think of that.
This is a thing I've done 3-4 times before in this game. And wait, why does it sound like crap? Oh, no, Abby bit off her fingers. That's it.
Yeah.
So, that was just like a stamp. And Ellie has nothing left. What are we going to do now?
Yeah.
And the game ends.
Future Days is so freaking perfect. My Lord.
That was, right?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so I have this thing where I have kind of like tunnel vision when I'm playing the game. So I'm just like fully in the moment and stuff. I'm never like that in real life. But when I'm playing video games, I'm like that. It's weird. Anyway, but like, when she's, Joel sings the song to her, and it's like, if I were to lose you, I'd surely lose myself, right?
Yep.
And then she tries to sing it to Dina, and she says those lines, and I'm like, wait a minute, where have I heard that? Because I'm fully like, I'm just thinking of Ellie's journey at that point. I'm not thinking of song lyrics. And then, so I asked Josh and everybody in the group chat, like, was that the song that Joel played? And everybody was like, yes. And I'm like, oh. Well, that makes sense.
Yep.
But no, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm dumb, guys. Anyway, that's like the thesis statement of the game. That's what happens to Abby when she loses her dad. That's what happens to Ellie when she loses Joel. That's what happened to Joel when he lost Sarah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. And I was watching a video essay right before we did this tonight, which was by a channel called Implicitly Pretentious, which is a good name. And they were talking about basically how the game is about trauma and how, like, to come out of trauma, you often have to reinvent yourself. And that happens with Abby in this game. You can see that happening by how she takes care of her enemies, because Lev and Yara are basically her enemies. But, she reinvents herself to become a caretaker of Lev. And Ellie, every time there seems to be a reinvention for her, like when she's on the farm, when she's taking care of Potato. I'm going to call him Potato from now on. I'm not calling him JJ
They
anymore.
call him that more than JJ in the game,
Yeah,
I swear to God.
Just call him Potato. Anyway, when she's taking care of Potato and she's with Dina on the farm, and it's like, that was given to her. She didn't get closure. She didn't attain it for herself, and she wasn't able to reinvent herself, and that's the reason why she can't live with it. And also, she hasn't dealt with the PTSD. She still has it. She probably has more of it because she just got beat to a pulp, and she saw Dina get beat to a pulp. So it's like, they got Orange Cassidy. That's an AEW reference. Sorry, guys.
Oh, you just made my day.
They got Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy, man. Yes, Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho's the man. Anyway,
Yes.
So Ellie is basically going through her life right now. She's going through the motions, but she's not really feeling that sense of closure and that sense of, like, I've made it here. And even I didn't. I as a player was like sitting there and I was like, if they end it here, I'm going to be part of the masses that are screaming on Twitter about this game. Like, I was like, I am not happy with this ending because I did not get any closure as a player. So that's why when they started it up again, when they did the sunset and she's doing the Potato song and she's like sitting there and it just stays there. And I'm like, is there more? Is there no more? What are we doing? I was freaking out. But there was a funny bug that I came across where there's a couple of arrows on the side of the house. If you walk around the house, there's a couple of arrows that are buried into the side of the house. And I picked them up as Ellie, and I picked them up when I was holding Potato, when I was holding JJ.
Oh.
And I picked them up, and she puts them as if there's a backpack there. So my Ellie was walking around with two arrows sticking out like of her back, but like inches off her back. And that was like so narrative breaking, and I was like cracking up.
That Resident Evil
So
5
like,
tech
dude,
right there.
that is such a bug. But anyway, it was just I don't think they
into-
expected anybody to actually go and pick up the arrows. But it was
we
just
ran
so
into
funny.
a similar kind of bug too. Not with Ellie, but with Abby. Do you remember?
Yeah, it was like it was in the when you get to like that hotel area after the big height thing, and I think you're going through like the gym or something.
Yeah, there's a gym in there.
Yeah, you're going through the gym, and I guess we like opened a door, and her hand got stuck in that position, so we would like turn around, and her arm would like go through her body.
It was so weird. It was like
The best
I know.
glitch I got was, the ropes? When you're
Yes.
with Mel and Abby on that boat, I threw it wrong and the rope resettled, but it started windmilling on its axis point.
I think I got something there too. Yeah.
Yeah, we got something similar like that too, where it's at the aquarium. We threw the rope. You're supposed to like come in through the ceiling. We threw the rope, and it went over and then back in through the window.
Yeah.
So it got stuck there,
Oh no.
and we couldn't pick it up. Do you remember
I
that?
remember that.
And we couldn't pick it up. Did we have to reset
And
it?
you're
Or
like,
did,
well, that's a game-breaking bug.
I think
I
we
felt so stupid during that aquarium little rope puzzle thing because I was trying to,
Yeah,
if you're
me too.
facing the door, I was trying to throw it over there instead of throwing it the opposite way. And I was literally sitting there for like 30 minutes. I was like, fuck, I'm trying to play this game. I got to go to work tomorrow. Let me figure this out. And no, I had to sit it down, and I figured it out, but I felt stupid.
What if you came across like one of those YouTubers that hates this game, and then you find out the reason they hate it is because they couldn't get the rope in the right direction? Like they couldn't throw the rope in. They're like, I hate that game and its stupid rope physics.
And I blame Laura Bailey.
Oh yes, it's obviously Laura Bailey's
It's
fault.
all
I
her
hate
fault. Abby
Abby.
wanted to go clubbing. It's her fault.
Yes. And by go clubbing, I think you mean that she wanted to go around just clubbing people with her massive biceps.
There was a meme that someone sent me after that where it's like Joel's last words to Abby were, "So what's your handicap?" I laughed pretty freaking hard at that. Oh,
Deleted scene with Troy Baker.
exactly. Oh man.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh yeah.
You know what got me was the point that, to get it all serious again, sorry guys, was the thing that I didn't realize that Joel actually looked at Ellie before the final blow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Kiona, you watched the spoiler cast, so you know about this. Originally, Neil and Troy wanted Joel's brain to be so scrambled that he calls Ellie Sarah.
Oh yes.
And then Troy was like, he just shouldn't say anything.
Yeah. No,
Just look at her.
been,
I would have turned the game off. I would have been so done.
yeah.
Even thinking about it now, I'm just like, no, don't do that.
He does kind of mouth something though. He does kind of like you could either say he mouths Ellie or he mouths Sarah. I don't know.
Go watch that if you haven't. There's a ton of alternate stuff that they talk about. That spoiler cast is so good.
Oh.
I liked how they were talking about how raw it was, that scene, and like Ashley Johnson was like, just, she said it was the worst day. And and Troy Baker was like, everybody was coming to him and making sure he's okay. Like all the other actors were coming to him and saying, "Are you okay, Troy?" And he's like, "Check on Ashley."
Exactly. Ashley shut down in the middle of that podcast. She had to like stop talking.
He had to stop. Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of how they recorded the Sarah's death in the first game. How they just it sounds so emotionally draining. While I've been editing my video, I even got to see the original take that they had of Troy Baker going like just losing about Sarah, and that was already like really hard enough. But I can just imagine just being on set, just having to reenact all of this.
That's grueling.
Side note, anyone listening, if you haven't seen the Grounded documentary on YouTube,
Yes.
Watch that and watch the one night only performance, the live performance that they did. Yeah, because that was really good.
Yeah.
Go ahead. On a subject of seriousness, I don't think I've ever been like struck by any segment in a game than everything from Ellie's PTSD breakdown in the barn to when she leaves Dina. Cause just first of all, just experiencing that nightmare, playing through that nightmare, and Troy Baker screams as Joel were horrifying, and then hard cut to Ellie on the floor in the barn just screaming. I've experienced that from secondhand, and it's always horrifying whenever it happens. And I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't 100% sold on Dina as a love interest. I was sold on her as a character, but I brought this up in the last episode of Renegade Arcade, but I wasn't 100% on Team Dina because I thought she was just a flirt. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I never took her caring for Ellie seriously on a level. Yeah. And it wasn't until I saw them on the farm and she stood up to Tommy when he was going off on Ellie. And then later on that night when Ellie's leaving and Dina's talking about how it's hard for her, but she has to put it all aside because of her and because of and just how she says, we've got a family. She doesn't get to be more important than that.
Yeah.
Like that's the point where I was like, oh my God, I love Dina. I see why Ellie loves her now. She is actually a really good love interest and she really cares about her. And I remember that night we ended up going to bed because I thought we were finishing the game that night, and then we ended up starting to play as Abby when she's in Santa Barbara, and we had to end it right there. And I stayed up for the most part almost that whole night because I just couldn't stop thinking about how much that sequence just hit really close to home for me.
There's even that little extra bit in the barn where she's freaking out with JJ and Dina just takes her. She doesn't give Ellie any guff. She's just like, yeah, that's the last time we had any excitement. She's not trying to make Ellie feel bad. She's just trying to make sure she's as most comfortable as possible. Yeah, and
I mean, what Josh is talking about, like the secondhand thing, is because I'm the first hand. I've mentioned it on the podcast before. I've suffered with PTSD, but I think they really nailed that. How like those intrusive memories And when I was watching that, I just, for a little while, I'd start to feel like, Ellie, you got to stop this. This is not healthy for you. Like, you're doing the wrong thing here. And I started to feel a little bit for Abby. But seeing Ellie like that, it was like, I connected with her more than any other character in any literary.
Yep.
If I could build upon that for a second, just to talk about Tommy, because I feel like a lot of people were critical about how he flipped and was, beginning of the game, no, I don't really want to go after Abby. Just forget about it. It happened. What are we going to do? To end of the game, no, we're going to go back. No, you need to do something about this. I felt like it was just more a personal thing for him because now he's walking with a limp. He's, his eyes messed up. I
He's
think
angry.
Was saying he had brain damage at that point as well.
I don't see why it wasn't personal at first, because by the end he's got brain damage and he can't walk very well. But that was his brother.
Yep.
His flesh and blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
How could that not be personal?
Well, yeah, I mean, but he still went after Abby regardless. But I felt like once you get to the end of the game, it's more of a pure anger for him.
You can tell. You can tell the switch is flipped.
Yeah, because he was ready to go home before that, and then all that.
Yeah. He's like, we're going to have to let her live. Are you okay with that? And she's like, it's the way it has to be.
I guess on some level, he also, even though he doesn't explicitly say it, he blames Ellie for everything that happened afterwards because he went out there.
Yeah, good point.
Ellie was so strong against, like, we're going to go kill her. It's because of her that, things got too far. It's because of her that, in a sense, she's the reason why Tommy loses the eye. And I can only imagine it's because of her and because of the damage that Tommy got that things fell out between him and Maria because... I remember one of the things that Maria said to her was, bring my husband back in one piece. And here he is right at the end of that segment. Tommy's broken.
Yeah, he's in pieces.
I was shocked that he was even still alive.
Yeah,
Same here.
But you know what though? This game did a good job of like low key showing how badass Tommy is.
The sniper section.
Crap.
So cool, dude. Yeah.
He was like an amazing opponent to face. Like I kind of like that because I was like, we don't really know too much about Tommy. We don't know how good he is in terms of combat. We don't know how we've seen Joel in action. We've seen Tommy in action too, but always he was always kind of in Joel's shadow. And then in this game, because you have to play against him, that makes it even more apparent, like how much of how just like awesome this guy was. Like he was not to be trifled with.
Yeah, because I was scared at that moment when you got shot at, and I'm like, who the hell is? Oh shit.
Yeah. I was like, okay, that's Tommy. That's definitely Tommy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I hope we don't kill him.
I will say that was the one thing that I had sort of spoiled for me.
That was an accident on my part.
Yeah, because I don't know exactly what happened, but basically it's when you find out who was the sniper in this section, it like throws everything for a loop. I'm like, okay, it's obvious. It's gonna be Tommy.
See, at that point, because I know what you're talking about. It was from a video from Video Game Donkey. He was talking about The Last of Us Part 2, and when I saw that segment, because he talked about the sniper fight, at that point, I was still playing as Abby, and I saw he uploaded, so I'm like, all right, let me see how far he goes with spoilers, and at that point, I roughly knew what was going on, so it was all good. Nothing was really spoiled heavily, but when it got to the sniper fight, at that point, I thought, all right, something's going to happen where Abby goes against the wolves, and maybe the sniper is not Tommy, but Manny. So that was my perspective when I saw that. I didn't know you weren't thinking that.
No.
So when I saw it was Tommy, I was still surprised, like, oh shit, it's you.
Yeah, that was the only thing I had spoiled for me. But I think I went into it with a very pure outlook because I had not seen any spoilers, anything aside from the trailers, which I'm still kind of proud of myself for because I've always struggled with that. I remember back when Breath of the Wild was coming out, I was on that. I was looking at theories. I was looking at every possible thing, looking at leaks. And then I watched, I didn't get the game for a little while after it released. and I watched spoilers, and then I played it, and it kind of soured the whole experience. But this was the first time I ever played a game without knowing anything about it, aside from like, you know, initial releases, like, you know, the first Last of Us. It was pretty fun.
So, where do we go from here?
I was gonna ask. Oh, go ahead. Nope, go ahead.
I was gonna say, can I rant?
I don't know.
Oh
Here we
boy.
go.
Oh
This is
boy.
gonna go on to the end of
Not
the podcast.
not to the end, but I mentioned earlier on in this podcast that there were 2 levels I think they could have cut out completely.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, tell me if you guys are with me on this, because I say the pacing was really slow, especially in the second half. I think they could have cut down heavily on the point where Abby and Mel and all of them and Manny are ambushed by the Seraphites. Just cut from right after the car chase straight to the gas station, and you wouldn't have missed anything.
Oh yeah, you're talking about like the hardware, the warehouse.
Or just and the second thing,
that could have been cut down a little.
the second thing, and Kiona, I know you're with me on this, was the freaking hotel.
Okay, you guys remember the library in Halo?
Yeah.
Which I'm actually playing Halo for the first time right now, and I just finished the library last night, so it's funny that
Man,
you know
screw
that.
that library.
The library level in Halo is what the hotel was in the Abbey segment here. That's what it was. It was the library. I was playing through this and it was repetitive, and I was like, it's never ending and it's repetitive. This is the Halo library level. That's basically what it was for me anyway. But yeah, Josh, go on. Go ahead and rant.
It's not too long. It's just that point, that was the point where everybody was watching me play, and everybody checked out.
I was
we were
just about to say, like, those 2 points in the story were when I checked out.
Yeah, I was so tired by the end of that. I was just like, oh my God, seriously? And I have to go down another floor with these confusing layouts and the stupid board that I have to like walk on, and stupid little ramps.
The last thing I want to rant on, and then Brock, you're taking the stand.
Oh God. Oh God.
you had something you wanted to say, but the last thing I'm going to say, it's on these armchair critics lately, and I swear to God, I'm not going to get into specifics, even though I'll admit I've been so angry with how a lot of people respond to certain sections. Like they not tunnel vision in the same level as Kiona, but tunnel vision more in their anger with where they wanted the story to go. There was a prominent reviewer on YouTube that I actually respect for a little bit, but he was playing through part 2 with his friends, and he just did not. It's like he went into the game with a negative mindset and kind of let that negativity fester through the gameplay. There was a point where he saw Ellie going out as like, well, why aren't you fulfilling your promise to Tommy? They went to the beach and they're like, wait, what the hell? Who are the rattlers? You know, what are these things? Are they wolves or are they Seraphites? They go to Abby and they're like, why is she, what happened to her muscles? And it wasn't like, the curiosity, like, what the hell happened to her?
Yeah.
It was more like, what is she doing here?
Yeah.
And
did they not play through the last like 2 hours?
Are you talking about Angry Joe?
I wasn't gonna mention him, but that's who I'm talking about. And there was a point he ranted about how, the main reason, quote unquote, why the game fails is because you don't like Abby as a character. And he was watching it with his viewers who had also seen the leaks and were going into it and were spoiling things as they were about to happen.
Oh.
And they were
like my younger brother.
And they
Yuck.
Here's the thing with I like to call it armchair critics, because in his review he uses a thumbnail. He uses a little skit that he does where he's playing Neil Druckmann writing out the script, and in the background he has a picture of Ryan Johnson and David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, which, fun fact, David Benioff's book, City of Thieves, which inspired The Last of Us, that's the book that Abby was reading when you start to play as her.
And not only that, but the character Lev is based off of the main character from City of Thieves.
Which is David Benioff's great-grandfather, I think, Lev Benioff. But,
Wow.
But you know, he's doing this whole skit, and I saw that picture, and I did watch it, but I think that's a really bad problem that a lot of people have with criticism of something like this lately. It's not just him, it's a lot of people that look at the game and play it. They want everything. We live in a time where with media, you want everything explained at the risk of it being overly explained. Like there are some people that were like, oh, if you were to get a prequel or a sequel to Last of Us Part 2, what would you get? And there were people that were genuinely saying, I want a prequel that explains the entire 4-year gap between Last of Us Part 1
Oh,
and Last
God.
Lord, no.
Come on.
Or I want a prequel that's set entirely with Abby before the hospital, so maybe we could be attached. Or I want a prequel or a DLC where you play as Tommy through Seattle, which that's the only one that I would be remotely curious on. But they want these things overly explained when it's all explained right there in the text. You just need to pay attention.
Yeah.
And these people, most people that are blindly angry, are not paying attention at all. They're letting that anger just kind of carry them through the whole thing. And when they don't kill Abby, people say, well, what's the point of this revenge? It's like, well, no, she's going to lose herself.
You know what? There's a part of me that doesn't necessarily disagree with that sort of criticism. You hear a lot of people say, well, this doesn't feel like Last was Part 2. This feels like Last was Part 3, and there was an entire story that we never got to see. I kind of agree with that. As much as, you know, I'm praising this game, I felt like there was some context, which, yes, is provided in the game itself through journal entries, you know, little subtle quips and what have you. There was some context that I felt would have made a great game and would have made me even more invested into what was going on in Part 2. So I do get what you're saying there. So far as like the armchair critic thing, the Ryan Johnson and fucking Angry Joe and his shit, as much as I love the guy and his reviews, the whole like subvert your expectations thing, I'm so tired of that kind of bullshit. Because I'm like, no, they're not just trying to subvert your expectations. They're telling their own story. You're the audience. You're the participant. Feel about it how you will, but you don't get to tell people what they should or should not do with their own IP.
That's right.
Yep.
And I think a lot of it comes into verisimilitude. Like, I'm sorry to get pretentious with that.
Verisimilitude, yeah.
But you know, like people act like this is God of War or anything, where Joel was the face of the entire world of Last of Us. Like the first game clearly sets up that at any point anybody could die, even Joel. And people look at it as, well, what the hell? How come Joel like dies so early or whatever? Or how come Joel has to die at all? And it's like, do you not understand the world that they live in?
Yeah.
This is a very gritty world where at any point anybody could die. You love somebody, bam, they could get shot. Bam, they could get eaten. And
it kind of goes into like the argument of people saying like, oh, Abby's not realistic, things like that. Like, oh, Abby's trans. It pissed me off because you have to look at the world that they live in. Like, she's a soldier. She's trained so hard to the point where her body is the way that it is because of the world she lives in. She has to accommodate for it, and not only that, but she's got a character model.
And she in that section where you're at the stadium, you see the gym at the stadium. So it's like, oh, that's how she bulked up.
Yep.
She spent years preparing
And
for it.
exactly. And she had the added motivation of wanting to kill Joel, who she
Exactly.
knew was going to be
Exactly.
somebody who was formidable.
Yeah.
And she knew that she couldn't just walk in there and just be like, hey, I'm Abby. I'm here to kill you. Let me take out my little umbrella and hit you in the head with it.
My name
I
is
mean, like,
Vigo
that's...
Montoya.
Yes, exactly.
You killed my father.
Oh my god, if we get
Prepare to
anybody
die.
who makes fan art,
God.
please make fan art of Abby with like the golf club like that. She's like, hello, my name is Abigo Montoya. Killed my father. Prepare to die.
Oh Oh my
I
god.
totally did not even realize that was becoming a.
If you're listening, make that. Send that to our
Please
people.
do.
Someone,
Please do.
please. Someone,
Well,
please.
That's my
Um,
ring. I'm sorry for going off and
Oh, you're okay, man.
You know
I
what?
think
though?
you have great points with that.
You're okay.
I mean, even like, okay, if you want to talk about, like, first of all, it's a video game and it's a story. And secondly, it's like, you look at the post apocalyptic world that they live in. I mean, you're going to have to do like scavenging runs and you're going to have to do that sort of thing where, like, nobody's going to look like me in this world. Everybody's going to be like in good shape, Like you have to, because you're going to be running for your lives. You're going to be like, and Abby just, and she's staying in a place with the WLF where she has access to a weight room and she can like, she can bulk up like that. Ellie is freaking strong too. I mean, you can't tell me she's not.
I
She
know what you're talking
freaking
about when she just launches Jesse up in the air.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. She's
Yeah.
like, I thought Jesse was going to be the one to sit there and do the Joel thing where he's like, okay, Ellie, and she's just like alley-oop, and it's just like nothing to her. I mean, like, seriously, Ellie was pretty strong. She's not a weakling.
Yeah.
And
that
Abby obviously is very strong too. I was scared, by the way, because of the way that Abby looked. And this is one of the reasons why that they did it, was to make you scared that Ellie was not going to survive that confrontation, especially when you're playing as Abby.
Yeah.
It creates this whole thing where it's like when you're playing the game, you worry like, oh my god, like, because a part of you thinks in the back of your head, how the hell am I not going to kill Abby when I've taken out hundreds of people, Seraphites and wolves, and then the game flips the switch and it's like, oh, that's how I got to kill myself. And it's not like Ellie was weak either. That boss fight was horrifying.
That was brutal. I can't tell you how many times I tried to sneak up on Ellie and she's just like, nope, and just like axe to the
at
gut.
the theater?
With the
Yeah.
Yeah, I died
Mine?
like 20
I
times.
died so many times, and every time I went, "Yay!" No. But then I was like, "Yay! Continue, game. Let's keep going." No, but anyway, there was somebody who actually did a whole thing where like Abby dies, and they're like, "Alternate ending to Last of Us 2, Abby dies," and they're like,
Yep.
"Spoiler warning: this is not an alternate ending."
I
was
I
like,
literally
oh,
watched
man.
that yesterday. Tommy Molotovs are when they're running away from the clickers and the start at the snow.
Yes. Was that on Video Game Sophistry? that
I
the
don't remember. I don't remember who did it. I don't remember what the video thing, anyways. But it very well could have been. But
Because I know that they did one. But anyway,
yeah.
I mean, okay, here's a question for you, just a point blank question. Who loves Abby here? Don't raise your hand.
I do.
Okay.
On a
Because
podcast.
no one can see it. No one can see it.
Plays real
Okay,
well
who
over radio.
likes Abby?
Okay, I can confidently say
I do.
Yeah, I can say I like her. Do I love her? No.
I
Okay.
like the idea of her.
I understood her.
Yeah, I would say I understood her, and by the end of the game, I kind of didn't want her to die, which is, for me, that was a big thing, because the whole game I was going like, I want her to die the most miserable death, because she took Joel away from me, and she's look at how my Ellie is now. Look at what
Naughty
you've
dog.
done to her.
Naughty Dog pulled the rug out.
Massacred my boy.
Look what they did to my boy.
Naughty Dog pulled the rug out from
But-
under us, and by the end of the game, pulled a Kojima.
Yeah.
And I gotta give.
Let me ask you guys this in relation to how you feel about Ellie. Because the game took me about 2 weeks to complete. I didn't just finish it all in a weekend because life. But I feel like being able to break it up into segments really enhanced the story for me. For any of you guys, I don't know how long it took you guys to complete it, but if you did play it in a more condensed period of time, do you think that impacted how you felt about Abby a little bit more than if you were to break it up?
I beat the game in 3.5 days. Because I purposely took time off work because it was coming out.
Yeah.
And I wanted to punch a hole through my TV the first time I beat it when Abby didn't die. And then I
Interesting.
played it a second time over a week and took some time and I thought about stuff and I'm like, man, she doesn't need to die. She gets like 6 friends get killed. She was about to die if Ellie didn't find her. And I'm like, she didn't need to. Ellie needed closure, but I don't think Abby needed to die. I still won't say that I like 1,000% was behind Abby. I completely got it. I get where she's coming from. I am a
Mhm.
person that has what do I want to say? Surrogate. I have a real not great father. So whenever there's father figures in games, it really gets to me. So then you had Abby lose her dad, and then I'm like, Ellie's going after her because of the same exact reasons. Then it was just I set it down, I thought about it more because I'm just like, I'm not gonna rush through it, like you said, actually sit and condense it. And I was like, I was a lot more zen and like the weights evened out.
Yeah.
And it did, I will say it helped a lot compared to the I had no life for 3.5 days, so I just blitzed through the entire thing. It definitely is a different experience. I don't know if that's because it's the second time that I played it while I was listening to people's podcasts during it, but it was very hard to play that game a second time. And that'll go back to what I wanted to talk to you about before, because the end of that game murders my soul, and I hate getting to it. I love playing the game, but there's parts where it's literally uncomfortable for me to sit through, and it's meant to be. Ugh, go ahead.
Is that are you talking about the entire kind of last act, or
the whole last act? And that was what my question was going to be, which you can get to after. It's how they lead up to your perspective on how Joel and Ellie sat before Joel died. How they lead up to it, but we could talk to it after you.
Oh, I have thoughts on
question.
That.
So
I have thoughts on
that. Was what I was going to get to, but go ahead.
So, I think, one of the games that this reminded me of, there are a couple of games that this reminded me of for different reasons. One was Mass Effect 3, specifically the ending. And the reason for that is because the ending for this is going to be dissatisfying and unsatisfying for a lot of people. And when I played Mass Effect 3, I was completely pissed off. And this was at like 4 a.m. and I had to go to work the next day. And I was like, I had played it. I had stayed up late to play it all the way through, because I was just like, I'm going to get to the end of this game. I'm going to get to the end of it. And I got to the end, and they're sitting there on the Citadel. The command Shepard, and my Shepard was the Fem Shep. So
that's Shep
for Hale. And then and Keith David, they're sitting there, and they're just like they're bleeding out, and it's kind of like, and Keith David dies, and I'm like sitting there with tears in my eyes, and I'm like, they got me here. And then there's a freaking secret elevator that goes up, and you meet the Star Child, and I'm like, what? I hated that. I hated that whole entire ending. I was like, no, you are not making me do this. No. And I think the first time I did it, I just refused to choose. And then the Star Child was like, so be it, in big Reaper voice. And just like everything got destroyed. And so I reloaded that, and I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to make an actual choice this time. So the first time I chose Synthesis. Yeah. Where I chose that. And then I was like, I'm not satisfied with this ending. So I reloaded it again, and I tried the Control ending, and I'm like, this sucks. This sucks. And so I tried the Destroy ending, and finally I was like, okay, I like this ending. And then you see Shepard still alive at the end, where there's, you see the N7 chess piece, and you see like a breath being taken. Yep. And I'm like, okay, Shepard survived that. So I'm like, okay, the Destroy ending was good. But then this was before the extended cut DLC, by the way. So this was like just me just playing the original ending, and it sucked. And I was looking up all the memes of Marauder shields and all that stuff. I mean, that was like great. Anyway, Mass Effect 3 pissed me off to such a degree that I almost understand why people get pissed off at games so much. Like, I was so upset. But as the years have gone on, and then they released the extended cut DLC, which actually made, it made a better case for it. Like, you could tell they had rushed it. And even though it didn't change the ending necessarily, but you got more context. And then they added more context with additional DLC. And then they what was the final DLC that was released for that? Citadel. Yeah, the Citadel DLC was it. That was the thing where I was like, okay, this gave me a chance to actually relax with my crew before the last mission. I was like, I kind of accept it now. The more context you add to it, the better it got. But then I do understand, because I was one of those entitled fans who was like crying out for like indoctrination theory, like that was the thing that we all kind of loved, and we all wanted that to be the case. But anyway, yeah, it was... Mass Effect 3, that was, I kind of understand where people are coming from when they get to the ending of this game and they're like, this is not satisfying for me. I did not get the catharsis that I wanted, because I got that same feeling with Mass Effect 3. However, this is a different game, and there's no element of choice involved, and there shouldn't have been, because this is Naughty Dog's game. This is not your game as the player to make a choice as to what the outcome is. Like, I've seen people who are like at the end of, where they get to the very last boss fight against Abby, and you're like, and they said it should be a choice whether or not I try to kill her or not. And it's like, no, it shouldn't. You've never had an element of choice in Last of Us. This franchise does not live and die by choice. It lives and dies by directorial direction, basically.
Yep.
Directorial choices. And I think that like another game that it reminded me of too was Spec Ops: The Line. Because in Spec Ops: The Line, what happens is that's just, it's like a AA military shooter. It's like a Gears of War clone. It's not even, it's not that good. Like it's not that fun to play when you're playing that game until you find out that it's about this guy's, the main character and his squad and their descent into madness. And it's basically a video game adaptation of Heart of Darkness.
I've heard this game brought up so many times. I need to fucking play it.
Yes,
you need to play it. You need to play it because I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't spoil it then. But all I have to say is, yeah. All I have to say is that that game takes you for so many twists and turns. Like it's crazy and it's not fun. But it is very, very interesting in terms of the characters and in terms of the narrative itself and how you're just witnessing the mental deterioration of this guy who you're controlling. And it gets to the point where he has hallucinations in the middle of a fight. And it gets to the point where, at the beginning of the game, you're fighting off the bad guys and you're like, your character is going like reloading and he's going like, here, eat a frag and stuff. And, it's your typical military shooter banter. And at the end of the game, he's like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna kill you all. And he's just like completely losing it. Like he's lost perspective and he's just going off like a murdering psychopath.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah, it is. Spec Ops: The Line, man. If you just want to see like a video on it, then there's a channel called Racevic. Watch his video on that.
You're talking about. I love that guy.
Love his channel.
Yeah,
I'm surprised in the comparisons you didn't mention Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah, I mean there is that comparison as well, but I'm trying to.
That's why
I don't know. MGS2 was not one of my not a favorite.
Neil Druckmann brought that up in his comparisons, and that.
I'm not surprised because I figured a lot of people wouldn't be as upset about like the reversal on that level because oddly enough, a lot of people have been bringing up Metal Gear when they talk about Last of Us 2, and it's like you're talking about the same franchise that for one game had you play as the face of the series for like 2 hours and then pulled the rug out from under you and you played as like Robert Pattinson in Twilight.
Oh, old Raiden.
But I think that until Platinum actually made him cool.
Revengeance is so good.
Yeah. I think that though, like Spec Ops for me was the most apt comparison, and Mass Effect 3 was the most apt comparison in terms of the ending. Because Spec Ops just shows you that deterioration, and you can see that in Ellie in this game. Like she starts out totally kind of justified in a sense, and then she just goes deeper and deeper and deeper, and she gets more annoyed with them too, in the same way that the guy in Spec Ops did. So it's like, she's just like, you're in my way.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's another detail that I noticed. Correct me if I'm wrong, but she doesn't tell them to shut up until later on in the game when she's like stealth killing enemies.
Well, I think earlier she kind of does, I think
sure.
I think early on she does still say that to them, but she says that in response to them. Whereas later on, it gets to the point where she kills them, and she's still going like, you sons of bitches, you're all in my way, and she's like muttering to herself at that point. She
starts more frequently calling them fucking assholes every time she takes one out.
She's just like, she's clearly losing it. Yeah. And I was just in there with her because I was so mad. I was still mad. Up until the end where it's just like you get, I don't know. It was.
My big question for you guys is, how do you think they're gonna do on the HBO adaptation?
I think it's cool if they get the two that they're actually all the fan casts are, especially the girl, which I can't think of her name now, but she's from Last Man Standing. She is just Ellie, but less murderous. But you have a really good opportunity to where everybody wanted that DLC of what happens in the 4 years between then.
There you go.
That's what the TV show could be, because like the first game could be 4 seasons. You go through seasons of the year where you're just like, we're 2 states over. Oh, we don't got to talk about what happened. It could be done well, and you don't need a big budget and all this stuff. You just need some sets where you can solely just focus on the writing.
Yeah.
And it's got the Chernobyl guy handling the first episode, which gets me really excited. So,
I'm telling you, I will kill, not really, but I would kill to be in the director's chair for The Last of Us. Like, Kiona can attest to this. Like, I started coming up with an idea of how I could scam my way into getting into the development stage.
Nice.
Not really scam, but I even wrote a short film that I want to make sometime this year, hopefully once everything subsides with the virus. And,
The virus.
make it so effective that I would I would send it to them, and maybe they could be like, this kid's got something. Let him be like a key grip or something.
I've always said, like, I've wanted to be in Supernatural, if anyone's seen the show. But I just want to be that guy that gets killed in the first 5 minutes that starts up the mystery. I don't need something big. I just want to be the guy that gets offed in 2 minutes. I get one line and that we're done. That's all I would need.
Can I just be a guy in an AEW audience that just heckles Orange Cassidy?
Yes! I wanted to be that little kid that got brought in on the set. Like him, and he got the pin Cody Rhodes. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
my hero.
By the way, Brock, are you ready for Supernatural to end?
Oh,
Am I
man.
ready for Supernatural to end? You could be asking. I'm a bit of a fan. But I don't, man. What was the best part is that I had all these people messaging me going, wow, the ending to Supernatural was really stupid. I'm like, they have 7 more episodes coming. Oh, that makes sense. I'm like, guy, I'm going to be turning 30. That show's been on for half my life. I don't know what I'm going to do when that show's done. That is crazy. That is insane. But, I don't know.
Nice.
It's just, it's nuts. Embarrassing story. My mom is going to be not very happy not getting to look at Jensen Ackles every day on TV, but
Yes.
yeah. But if you want to get back into what I was going to ask before,
Sure. Yeah.
you can kind of translate in because you said you had thoughts about it. What I was originally going to ask was, what was the story beat that you thought that was handled the best, or like emotionally like just murdered you the most? For me, again, it's the surrogate father thing, and I'm a person that really likes closure, the don't go to bed angry type of thing.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
Neil
sure.
Druckmann confirmed that like the last real talk Ellie and Joel had was the I'm going back to Jackson, but we're done thing. And then you're like, it was like, okay, did he ever tell Ellie what happened? Then you do its flashback, yes. And then you keep going and you're like, they just ended up being pissed at each other. And then you see the ball, which was the first thing they ever showed for this game. And it was like 20 hours into the game.
Okay. That's a thing, by the way, I wanted to bring that up, which is that like that should have been placed earlier in the game, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the intro because they showed it off so much. And then it would have left you with the mystery of, okay, so she's not talking to Joel.
Yeah. It was, for me, it kind of worked. I just thought it was weird.
Yeah,
but
it was weird.
It kind of worked for me because then you get the Joel died and they were just like, she ended with basically telling them to fuck off.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. By placing it there, then it makes you think that like, okay, yeah, that's how they ended things.
And then, you get to the point where where you're choking out Abby and you see Joel on the porch. I'm like, hold on. What? And then you get to I'm going to start crying.
Mm-hmm.
You get to the point of where she comes up and they start lightly talking. And it is not my favorite cutscene in all of video games, but it's my most favorite acted out cutscene where they're just sitting there and it's just 2 people. And she goes, my life would have fucking mattered if I died that day and you took that from me. Joel can't say a word and he doesn't need to. Yeah. And then Ellie just goes, I don't think I can ever forgive you for that, but I'd like to try. And Joel, all he can get out was, I'd like that. That's all you needed. I was like, it's done.
He's got tears in his eyes at that point.
Like I remember when we played that, my dad told us like, I would have liked them for like to hug or something, to like, or for like him to put his hand on her shoulder or something. I'm like, no, that wouldn't have worked because A, that's not his style, and B, that tension aided to the story.
Yeah, they want to leave that still there, like there's still awkwardness between them because that's how it would be in real life. I mean, you don't just automatically like just hug somebody that's wronged you that deeply, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
or
Neil
that she
Druckmann
feels
said
is
they
wrong.
almost did that and then decided not to.
Yeah.
Like, you make steps like that. That's why I really want to play through it again, because I'll admit I haven't played with all the way I've been talking. You would swear I've played it like 3 times. I've only the first playthrough, but I really want to play through it again with those friends of mine that are playing through the first game, like the one that played through the first game and one that's about to play through the first game. Go to the second game, because I was editing a Last of Us music video not too long ago, and I remember early on in the game, there's actually a point where Dina asks Ellie, like, "Oh, so what are you doing tonight?"
Yep.
And Ellie says, "I'm gonna invite Joel over for a movie night."
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's just like, oh,
Yep.
And the way that she said it too was kind of like hesitant, so you knew that something was up, but you didn't know exactly what.
Exactly.
So they withheld the context, and this is what the game is. The whole game is basically about context
Yeah,
and about
100%.
vengeance and the cost of vengeance. That's basically what it's about. And
Yeah.
like, to answer the question,
yes.
I think that one of the scenes that really got me was the scene where she goes back to the hospital. It's the flashback sequence. Of course, there's that great flashback sequence where they're fully, father and daughter, and we have that father-daughter moment that we wanted between them, where they go to the museum and all that, and like the space capsule and everything. That was awesome.
Yes.
That was the game that so many people wanted, and I think they just gave us just enough of it.
Mhm.
I mean, I'd always want more of that, but at the same time, I understand that that's what we had time for in this game. Always leave them wanting more, like Commander Shepard said. I think that like the scene where after she goes back to the hospital, the Firefly Hospital, and she finds the tape recorder, she finds the tape and she listens to it, and they say, if by some miracle we find another person who's immune, and she realizes that this just confirms that he's been lying this whole time. And that scene where he tells her, and I love the acting there. And that was one of the scenes where you just don't feel like you're watching digital humans. You feel like you're watching actors. And just the way that, he's like he's ashamed. And he wouldn't be ashamed to anybody else other than, maybe with Tommy, he was a little bit ashamed, but not really. But with Ellie, he's ashamed because he knows how she's going to take it. So she her reaction to that, and just the visceral, the way that she just collapses and doubles over. I was just like, okay, that's great. That's amazing acting. And again, Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson. I mean, Troy Baker does not get enough credit for this game because he plays Joel as the most weary, he's seen some shit, he's just, you get the feeling that he's in a way waiting for death. Like, that's what I got from him. I got from him the fact that he's just going to enjoy as much time as he has left, but he knows that death could come anytime. And then with Ellie, just her reaction was so gut-wrenching. But that's like the negative scene that I like the most, but the positive scene that I like the most was the forgiveness scene. But that plays into why, and so many people are like, well, then why did she, if she had that moment with him, why does she continue to go and search for revenge and seek out vengeance against Abby and stuff? And I'm like, that's the whole reason, is because she feels guilt. That's the whole thing about so much of trauma is inwardly directed. It's not outwardly directed. Some of it is, but I mean, for the most part, like she's killing all these people and stuff because she's really she's messed up internally. If she was really looking at the situation and really trying to deal with what she has to deal with, she wouldn't be out there doing what she did, and she wouldn't feel so much guilt. And if she had the opportunity to have that closure with Joel, which Abby took away, that's the whole entire reason why she goes on a rampage. And because she's trying to live up to Joel's reputation and live up to what she thinks he expected of her. That's the thing that I got from it anyway.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's the sins of the father on both sides.
Yeah. But Abby, which, by the way, Laura Bailey, who is getting death threats for doing her job.
On that note, how stupid this is, I brought this up to a friend. If you're going to send Laura Bailey death threats because she played a character who killed Joel, you, in that same stupid train of thought, should be sending Ashley Johnson grieving notices because her fake father died.
Yeah.
There you go.
And you should be sending Troy's parents grieving notices because their son just got killed. That's how stupid this logic is.
I'm afraid to touch on this anymore after I got on some minor Twitter beef with James Gunn.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Total miscommunication.
What?
You know about this,
Do I?
because James Gunn responded to all that stuff going on about Laura Bailey, and he was talking about how ridiculous it was, and I think the words I said for the most part were, on some level, I can understand this being directed to, like, I can understand being negative towards like the writers or directors. But to the actors who are only playing a character, that's absolutely ridiculous. And I put like the meme from the gif from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where Ben Affleck as a Holden McNeil, he's like, remember that these are fictional characters. And I didn't word it properly, so a lot of people thought that meant I was condoning sending death threats to writers and directors.
Because
and
it's
one of those
Twitter.
Yeah.
Because it's
one of
Twitter.
those people was James Gunn, who actually responded to me saying, threats against anybody is inexcusable. And my heart sank because I explained it to the first person that pointed out, so you excuse that against writers and directors and all that. And I said, oh, no. I don't mean it like that. I'm on your side. What I meant was these kinds of threats in general are childish and stupid. I just worded that wrong, please. And then I saw James Gunn responding to me, and everybody started hating on my direction.
Did you at least like respond to James Gunn saying like no please?
Oddly enough, my YouTube sister Gwen cleared things up by retweeting what I said to James Gunn and said, hey, don't worry, you guys are on the same page. And James Gunn responded to me when I did my whole clarification on another tweet, just saying, hey, it's all good.
Oh, that's
That's good.
Yeah.
But
That's good.
yeah, if you're gonna, don't send death threats.
period.
It's
Yeah.
art. Art's supposed to provoke, art's supposed to challenge, and art's supposed to entertain. And if you're sending death threats because of a piece of art, it's just stupid.
Going back to what you said about the armchair critique thing,
Mhm.
one thing I hate that I forgot to bring it up before, and it feeds into this, nothing can ever be mild anymore.
Yeah.
It's either the best thing in the world
Yeah.
or absolute hell. There's never a middle, so you're either so happy or you need to send death threats. There's never a middle anymore, and it drives me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just things can just be okay.
And that's
Yeah.
okay.
I remember there was the case of this Green Lantern writer way back in, I think it was the early 90s maybe, when they turned Hal Jordan into Parallax.
Yeah, around that time, yeah.
Yeah, when they basically took Green Lantern, who had been the most, it's Hal Jordan. He's the Silver Age Green Lantern. Everybody knew he was Green Lantern. Everybody was like super hyped when, they were like, oh, it's Hal Jordan. He's awesome. So this is at the time when DC was like killing Superman off, and they were breaking Batman's back, and they were like, let's do another thing to Green Lantern. So what they did was they had Hal, there was a tragedy in his life, and I forget the details of it, but he basically, they destroyed Coast City, which was his base of operations. That's what it was. So there's somehow these villains had destroyed Coast City, his entire city. So he goes off the deep end, gets super mad, goes to Oa, which is the homeworld of the Guardians. He kills them all. He takes all the power rings, basically absorbs all the energy that is available, and he becomes Parallax, which was then later on retconned to say that there was a cosmic monster that took over his body and took over his mind and made him become Parallax, which is bullshit. But Jeff Johns wanted Hal Jordan back, so therefore we had to do it. Anyway, no, it came from Hal because he was traumatized. Anyway, Jeff Johns, we love you. Okay. But it's that same thing where you did a major change to a character and people hated it. And the writer at the time, I don't remember if it was, who was writing Green Lantern? Was it Ron Mars? Somebody like that? Anyway.
I remember the controversy because I was like 2 when this happened.
Yeah. But, so when this happened, anyway, the writer got a whole bunch of death threats, basically.
Yeah.
Because he changed the character of Green Lantern. And it was probably editorially mandated because it wasn't the writers saying, let's kill Superman and break Batman's back and let's turn Hal into Parallax and make him a murderous psychopath. It was editorial because they wanted more sales, because comics are always looking for more sales because sales suck.
Yeah. Stan Lee told a story about that. The last con, one of the last ones I got to see him at, he talked about going on vacation after he just, on the last issue he wrote, they killed off Captain Stacy.
Yeah.
He came back from vacation and they had killed off Gwen Stacy.
Yeah.
And he had a just binder and bags full of hate mail. And he's like, I didn't do this. Why are you mad at me?
He was like,
what?
he did not want them to kill off Gwen, and they went and killed Gwen.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so I mean, it happens with comics, it happens with games, it happens with movies, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And TV shows. So I mean, it's like, you know, I've been mad at things that creators have done in all those different mediums, but in media as a whole. But I mean, to take the time to write a death threat to somebody who's just doing their job, it's like Laura Bailey made none of those decisions. And don't send it to Neil Druckmann for that either, because it's just stupid. You know, you have better uses of your time. Like, go and help the world. Don't sit there and send a death threat for a stupid video game, okay? Like, seriously.
Write
people.
fan fiction.
Yeah, write fan fiction where Ellie kills Abby terribly, like 12, and then resurrects her and kills her again, and keeps doing that until, and she does it with the help of Jensen Ackles from Supernatural.
Exactly. There you go.
And Doomslayer shows up.
Doomslayer shows up and he's like, "No, this is how you kill someone," and just does a glory kill. I mean, I don't know, guys. It's
The world's screwed up. Everyone's stuck at home. They have nothing better to do.
Apparently. Okay, let's talk about. So now, coming out of this game, I was like, I don't want to see a sequel to this. I hope they don't ever do a sequel to this. But the thought occurred to me recently where it's like, if there was a direction that they could go, do you think one of the possibilities would be Ellie's redemption after this?
Ellie finding a purpose in life, basically, to me. I think she's just kind of at a flat neutral.
Yeah.
But that was part of the reason why she was so pissed at Joel for the longest time. She had no purpose in her life. And then she was handed this stuff, but she was just kind of coasting. Her finding a purpose and then like a journey to do that, I think could be cool. I don't know if that's exactly redemption, but just finding a purpose for being alive.
Finding her way back to Dina and Potato would be a start.
Yeah. Like she kind of found a purpose in, you know, getting revenge, but it was all artificial.
Yeah.
It wasn't real.
Because if she had killed Abby, not only would she have become Abby, she also would have set off Lev, and then Lev would come after her and kill her. And then Potato would go after Lev and kill Lev.
Never stops.
Potato would just
Big freaky circle.
peel him.
Life is like a circle.
So,
I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
That is all I remember from that movie. It's literally Rob Snyder going, "Life's like a circle." That's all I remember.
Well,
You know, I would honestly be like, after we finished the second game, I was like, you know what? I would be totally on board if there was a third game, because I felt the way of this doesn't need a sequel after the first game. And then a sequel was announced, and, you know, I was hyped. And then I thought, wait, maybe, I don't know. But then that gave way to, screw it, the game's going to be amazing. And then playing this game, I realized, you know what? That's the beauty of this world that Druckmann and Haley Gross, who I don't think we've given nearly enough credit for writing in this. Yep. Haley Gross really evolved the world beautifully, I think, to the point where, like I said earlier, and like I said that Crystal told me, which is like, you know, everybody's got a story. So I would really love to see where this could go. And I think the ending, in a sense, sets up perfectly for a sequel. There was this comment that I saw in one of the videos. I think it was the last scene, because I was watching people react to it because I wanted to see people's reactions. I had to wait through all the terrible ones that were just like, man, screw this. This is a 0 out of 10. But some comments, there was one comment that said, you know, in a sense, this ending is an inverse of the original game's ending, where the original game's ending on the surface ends hopeful, but underneath it's very empty. It's very bittersweet. Just in the sense that you kind of have to accept that, you know, yeah, everything's good, but there's something bubbling under the surface with Ellie. She obviously doesn't buy it, but has to give in to the lie. And with this one, on the surface, it's very depressing. You know, Ellie lost everything, but underneath, under the surface, it's very hopeful in the sense that Ellie can finally move on.
Yeah.
She's leaving behind this chapter in her life that was full of anger and death and revenge. And oddly enough, it was through losing that coping mechanism that she was able to finally let go of Joel, finally able to let go the one thing that she held on to, and she's able to leave it behind and go out and hopefully seek a better life.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know,
And
that
that's
was. Oh,
exciting.
sorry, Josh. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I'm done. Yeah, it leaves me excited.
Well, I mean, yeah, you bring up a really good point, and I just wanted to say that, like, that flash that she has of Joel when you're almost killing Abby, when Abby's almost dead, and then she has that flash of Joel, and he looks all peaceful, and I was like, that was when the game kind of hit me too. Even though I was a little bit numb from it, but at the same time, I was like, oh, that's a sign of something happened. I bet there was some kind of forgiveness going on there because that's the last image that she sees of him. And I don't know, I just thought that was very poignant. And also to your point about, like, yeah, I think that there's a direction that they could go with it, because who's to say that Abby's father was the last neurosurgeon alive, by the way? Do they know for a fact that he was?
No.
Or was he just the last one that the Fireflies had?
Right. For me, though, I'm not going to say this is the only route I could see them going. Perhaps it's just the preferable route for me personally. But
Sure.
if we were to have the part 3 with Abby and Lev as playable characters, they finally do get to the Fireflies. They discover, hey, Ellie is still alive. So if we can just go find her, then perhaps we can produce a cure.
That's what I was thinking.
Then it becomes about Abby and Lev trying to save Ellie from the Fireflies who are just going to kill her. I think that would create an interesting dilemma. And perhaps you could even see Ellie in a place where she's like, you know what? Why are you even here? I wanted to die anyway. I've already lost everything. So
yeah. Well, that's kind of
held up in a cabin somewhere, and they got to go find her.
yeah, right.
That's kind of the inverse of what I was thinking, because I was thinking that Ellie would be sort of the one, she would be the one kind of making a life for herself. But if you go that direction, then she would be the one who's kind of like, she's lost all will to live anyway. She's just like, what's the point? That's interesting. I mean, I wouldn't mind coming back to Abby and Lev after maybe some time has passed and maybe they've kind of grown a little bit, like Lev has grown up a bit or something, and there's a slightly different dynamic there.
Yeah.
Like I could see that, because that would give me some distance too, where I'm like, okay, they're no longer the same characters that I was, like Abby's no longer the same person that I hated so much. Like maybe show her with a community or something.
How many years would you want, if there was a sequel, how far in the future would you want it to be?
It doesn't have to be that long. I would say maybe like 2 or 3 years.
Okay, that
Maybe
sounds
like 2
about what I
years.
want. Yeah.
I would say the same as well.
Yeah. Not
But
too-
what was interesting too, sorry. Just I had a thought that came into my head. I better hurry up and get rid of it. Anyway, just this idea that, like, Abby says to Ellie at the end of the first fight, she says, I don't ever want to see you again. I'll kill you if I ever see you again. And then she sees her again and it's like, oh, it's you.
Yep.
Help me cut her down, like it's that the animosity is gone.
Yep.
So I almost think that, like, even though they would have almost killed each other, but like if it goes the way that Zane said, then you could actually build like an interesting sort of relationship there in a way, which would be really weird.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, that also carries on the theme of how do you move forward from revenge. So
Again, if we don't get a sequel, I just want another game that plays as good as this one.
yeah.
Definitely.
What if in the sequel, Tommy's the villain? I don't know.
Oh God, no! Please, no.
What is he gonna
do?
do? Beat people with his cane?
You just see him being the angry old man of Jackson. Get off my property! Like,
He's just gonna flop on top of people. Just wait. He's dead
Bring
weight.
Clint
becomes-
Eastwood, the voice acting.
there you go. Exactly. God.
He just
basically
becomes
turns into Clint Eastwood
Dr.
from Gran
Claw.
Torino.
Yeah, he basically is.
Man, that'd be weird. I don't know.
I would feel bad if that was the case. Like, I wouldn't want to fight Tommy. Just
It's like beating an old man.
yeah, and he's our last connection to Joel.
Yeah.
Tommy would be like who's the sniper that you can wait out and just have him die in MGS? I think it's 3.
Oh, the end, I think.
The end, yeah.
The
That's what it is,
end.
exactly. Where you could just modify your save data and he just collapses.
I sniped him.
Oh,
I
yeah.
took
Or
him
yeah,
out.
yeah.
You actually went through.
Yeah.
I've never played it. I'm not a huge Metal Gear person. I just know it from all the
Yeah.
endless lists and stuff. So that's my only correlation with it. I've played Revengeance. That's the only one, and I loved it.
Yeah, Revengeance was great, man.
I will say one last thing on the game as a whole. I like how this game does a similar thing that the first game did, where the first and last shots that you see in the whole game like just bring everything full circle. How in the first game, the very first thing that you see in the game is Sarah, and at the very end of the game, the very last thing you see is Ellie. And in this game, the very first thing you see in the game is Joel making the guitar for Ellie, and the very last thing is Ellie leaving the guitar behind. I'm like, oh God, that's the story circles. God, it's beautiful.
Ruckman knows what he's doing.
He also knows how to emotionally manipulate us.
Oh yeah.
That is true as well.
Fuck Owen. I'm still.
Dude, okay, speaking of which, Owen is such. Oh my God, I hate him too because okay, the only time he shows any backbone is right before Abby kills Joel. The only time he ever shows any backbone to her is when he says, finish it now. That's the only time. Yeah. I'm just like, I'm so annoyed at him for the rest of the game because he never shows any backbone, except for maybe when he's drunk.
Yeah.
That was about it.
But that's
go ahead, sorry.
It's fine. When he says, after they, like post-coitus or whatever, Mel is there.
Voice. I was just not expecting that. Go ahead.
He's like, well, we can work it out. Like, fuck you.
That's fucking weird.
That, like, I remember Josh was saying, like, oh, I hate Owen. I hate Owen. I'm like,
Speaking of stuff that could get cut, that scene did not need to be in there. You could have just said some stuff happened and
that was
show them there.
Opera. I was like, what am I watching? Days of Our Apocalyptic Lives?
Actually, I don't mind that scene, and I don't mind the idea of Owen, who... This is what I mean where I still say that I think Abby is the main antagonist, because almost everybody that gets involved with her after she makes the conscious decision to just go after Joel, she ruins everybody that gets involved with her, or they end up dead because of her. And Owen is a prime example of that, because up until the end, I find the main reason, like, they they have the, as Crystal refers to it, a coitus. It's because he's still hung up on the idea that she's still in there.
Yep.
Like, the Abby that I loved is still there, and that's why he never really, except for when she finally gets her revenge, he never really holds her to task, because he wants to believe that she's still capable of love, but he holds on to it for too damn long, and as a result, he fucked over Ashley Birch, and
that's inexcusable. Aloy's my girl.
But like I said, fuck Owen. All my homies hate Owen. That was one thing I saw one of my favorite YouTubers tweet out, because his girlfriend was playing through Last of Us 2, and he went out and just said, man, fuck Owen. All my homies hate Owen. And everybody roasting Owen.
We all do.
Wait. So the voice actress who does Aloy voices Mel?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's Ashley Birch.
Shit.
Yep.
Okay. So, not to get on the whole Horizon thing, but I just think that's interesting because I didn't really like Aloy as a protagonist.
No, that's
Horizon.
Fine. It's a very
but I did like Mel.
thing.
That was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, didn't know that.
I find it funny that Ashley Birch has gotten known as the Horizon Girl. She'll always be Hey Ash, what you playing, and Tiny Tina to me. So
Aloy and
she'll always be Chloe. Yeah. Chloe from Life is Strange. Yeah.
But what I was going to say, the one thing that I liked about Owen, and we didn't really talk about it at all, was the opinion switch of people. Like, she always wanted to go to training when Owen was trying to. I don't really have an opinion on Owen. He was just kind of the meat stick that she had that was there. And
snap it to a Slim Jim.
Exactly. And it's just like, you see Mel, who was kind of with her before. She was happy in that note about her father taking her in. Mel absolutely cannot fucking stand her by the end of it. Owen was trying to get back to the Fireflies, and it was like, maybe we can, but you can't go. And then her other friend, Manny, really never had an opinion, but it's just like, she's known as the top killer and all this stuff, and then that starts changing people's opinions. And like you said, Lev and Yara kind of changed that. You see it on both ends. You get to hear consistently Dina asking if this changes stuff for her and stuff like that. It was a good parallel trying to show each, but they didn't. That's one thing that bugged me at the beginning of the story too, was anybody kind of like, Who are you? Who's Mel? She's pregnant. What?
Yeah.
Why should I care at this current moment? It's like, it could have gave me something more. I don't know. That's all with story structure and plotting. Like you said, you wish that dance would have been sooner.
Yeah.
It's all stuff you could have just plopped in different locations. And I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
not a writer. I'm an editor. It's a total different ball game. I don't know how that could have been handled. So
if you go on that channel that I mentioned before, that video game sophistry channel, what they did was they actually did edits of like the Joel and Ellie relationship, but in sequence.
Okay.
So you actually see like the flashbacks before the actual events of the game and stuff like that. So that was interesting to watch. And then they did one for Abby, and they did one for like all the different, just different characters and whatnot. Oh, another scene. We didn't talk about this scene. The funeral for Joel.
Oh, yeah.
I would call it that, like I think they even called it that, the funeral and wake for Joel.
Yep.
Which was, I think that was one of the most powerful scenes in the entire game.
All the cards at his house. Oh.
Yeah, all the flowers and cards and stuff. And you realize that this guy was just like, like he had a life. He was trying to do something, with his life at the end. And like, he was carving out these little wood statuettes of animals and stuff like he was a very grounded guy who just loved nature and stuff. Like that was really all he wanted to do. He just loved music and he loved nature.
You know what killed me most about that trip to the house? You see the book about space on his nightstand. Mm-hmm. He was learning about Ellie's interest even after they weren't getting along.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man. You're killing me.
It was that. It was the watch. It was like, for me, it was the moment where she goes and finds his jacket, his leather jacket, and she just buries her face in his leather jacket.
Yeah.
That was the thing that got me.
Oh,
yeah, that was a masterful sequence. And I was like, I don't even care that there's no action in this sequence. Like, because I grew up on a steady diet of Claremont's run on X-Men and nice. The 90s X-Men stuff. And every time they had a big event, somebody usually died or something, and then got back in like a couple of issues. But they died for a moment and then they came back. And there was always the downtime issue that came after the fact. So there was always like a baseball game issue, or there was always like something where it was just them hanging around the house. There was like no big action in it. And I was just like, okay, I kind of love this. Like I remember post Onslaught, there was an issue of X-Men, which was just them just in the house and just all character stuff. And there was no action sequence. I think there was like a snowball fight between Beast and Iceman. That was like the action sequence. But everybody else was just like hanging around. Like Wolverine wasn't even doing anything violent. He was just hanging around. And like Jean was there and she looked hot because it was Joe Madureira. But anyway, and he knew how to draw Jean. Anyway, that's beside the point. I just think that like, yeah, the downtime moments, especially in video games, really get me. So that was awesome. So kudos to Naughty Dog for that one.
There were two scenes. I wouldn't even call it a scene. Like moments in the game that got me. It was the funeral scene and the ending song, ending duet.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, because I was not expecting that duet. I was not expecting to hear Troy Baker come in and sing, and and in character.
Yeah, I still want to hear a duet of them singing "Future Days" somehow. I don't know,
me too.
But I want it.
Game soundtracks are so important. Like that's one of the things that like, since Streets of Rage 2 is my favorite video game of all time.
Yep.
Because that is the game that made me a gamer. Like it's not even deep or anything. It's just the game that I love because I loved every single moment of it. I loved the fighting. I loved the controls. I loved everything. And the music was part of the reason why, because that techno, Yuzo Koshiro, like, dude, that guy is amazing. So like everybody should look up like that set that they did in like a European nightclub or something where they played like him and this other guy that also scored Streets of Rage 3. They did this like DJ set, and it's just them like playing Streets of Rage music for like an hour and a half or something. And it's just amazing. And they have like a light show going off, and they have like a board, like it's just amazing to me. Anyway, so, for me, game soundtracks are really important. And like, I felt like the first game had a better soundtrack overall, but maybe that's because it had more variety in it. And it also, like, it wasn't always dark. It was also like, there were light moments. There was a sense of hope in the soundtrack to the first game. Whereas in this game, it's like, you are in the shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you are, it's going to be, it's deadly and dangerous, and everybody's enraged, and Ellie's enraged, Abby's enraged. You know, Joel is carving little cow statues. I mean, I was so emotionally manipulated throughout this whole thing. But anyway, that's
I want to know your guys' opinion on one character in particular.
okay.
This is another flaw, like another main flaw that I have, and I would expand on it more if I were given the opportunity to tell Druckmann and Gross and whoever was the game director, hey, fucking that hotel, cut it. Have them fall, and they're right where they need to be in front of the hospital. Cut it.
Have him fight a shambler, and that's it.
What do you guys think? What were your guys' thoughts on Isaac?
First of all, it's Jeffrey Wright, and he's amazing. And he was underutilized.
That's really funny because earlier that day, before we beat the game, we were fan casting for the HBO show. And Josh asked me, who would you cast as Isaac? I said, what's that guy? What's that guy's name from Westworld? I was like, that guy, he would do a good job. And then we watched the credits and Jeffrey Wright. Oh my god.
And if not him, then
I'm like, oh my god, I was right.
If not him, then maybe Keith David.
Ooh, Keith David or a lot younger Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Forrest Whitaker could just do his Saw Gerrera thing.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Bullet.
I thought he was good. I liked the idea of the character. You just didn't really get a lot of them.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of journal entries and whatnot scattered around, the levels that I feel go a little bit more into his mindset. But yes, I still agree. It would have been nice to see more of him.
Like, there's this awesome scene where you first meet him, and
Yeah.
dude, he's completely naked.
He's like,
And
I was scared of that guy.
All right, thanks.
My roommate walked by when that scene was happening, and he's like, "Is that full bush?" I'm like, "Yeah, that guy's naked." He's like, "Holy shit!"
And it's like, well, thanks for the context. Well, what's going on?
Like you get a little bit of it, like Zane said through the journal entries. When you're playing as Ellie, like you see a lot of people's notes, and they're talking about Isaac's going to take us to the promised land or some shit like that.
I thought
that's the thing, getting it as Ellie, and you never meet Isaac, and it's only when you're as Abby that you meet Isaac, and that's the only real dissonance that I had between it, where it was like, well, okay, show me more Isaac. I want to understand why everyone's like, oh, just don't talk to Isaac. He's in one of his fucking moods. Nora's like, man, I don't want to fucking deal with him. Why everyone's so afraid of getting locked up under him. It's like, well, show me more. Show me that things are already tense.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even when Abby goes to meet up with Owen at the aquarium for a second time, and she tells him it's a lead, I got to see it through. How Owen's like, Isaac is not going to sign off on this. Abby just says something along the lines of, he doesn't need to know.
Yeah.
No, she says that he already.
Yeah, he already knows.
He gave the okay.
He gave the okay, but that would go a long way for Abby to just be like, he doesn't need to know. Because, hey, you know what? He'll fuck us up regardless. He doesn't need to know anything about this. And then maybe that just fuels tension when you start to play as Abby, where it's like, all right, Abby's already driven away everybody, even her own side, where it's like you risk getting your best people killed just because of one guy.
On that same note, I understand why we didn't get it because it really wasn't important, but I wish we would have got a little bit more context on random savior woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who
was she?
They didn't listen to her writings anymore. What else?
But did you feel her love though?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I felt her. Yeah,
I was so excited to meet her, and they were like, "She's dead." I'm like,
that was such a disappointment.
That could have been an
seriously?
awesome fight.
yeah.
I want to kill a lady, okay? That would be cool. Lady Jesus.
I thought she was going to be the one that almost strung Abby up, or that did string Abby up. And
Yeah,
almost
I
killed her.
Yeah.
So,
I thought she was the one.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, was I the only one in this boat where when the trailers came out and seeing that scene where Abby's being hung, I thought that was Ellie's mom.
I thought of her a second too. You're not alone.
Thank
Because I don't know
Yeah,
the
I had
context or
no
the time.
idea who that was. Yeah.
Yeah, they hadn't named any new characters, so I was like, she looks like she has red hair, and she kind of looks like her. Maybe she's, and then like she put a knife to her stomach. I'm like, oh, maybe it's like Baby Ellie or something like that.
Yeah.
And then there was also that teaser from Uncharted 4 where like the little poster in their daughter's room where it's like a pregnant woman and it's like The Last of Us Part 2 or something with like a gas mask. I'm like,
oh yeah.
Neil talked about that too. He said he doesn't
he
know. He said he'd like to tell that person's story, but he doesn't know if it'd be in a video game. So he has a story for that girl even.
Maybe in the show.
Could be something like American Dreams.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Cool.
Comic.
Man. I keep forgetting other stuff that we haven't talked about. Like, I totally spaced that we never even mentioned her until now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
talk about.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing about the Seraphites and the Scars to me is that they were just slightly kind of undercooked as a villainous faction.
Yeah.
Like I wish we would have learned a little bit more. Like we did kind of learn a lot about, you know, they really followed this woman and they were like all fiercely devoted to her ideals or what have you, but we didn't know what those were necessarily. We didn't know, you know, like I'd be interested in learning the history a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying they should do a prequel game about it because I don't like prequels.
No, but just make like a lore book kind of. Come out with like a lore book. I'd buy it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
How did she even die? How did the savior lady die?
I don't remember if they said.
I don't think they said.
Yeah.
That's just left up to
Go ahead.
interpretation or mystery.
Didn't they make hints to like her being a wolf initially, but she like
maybe
defected?
could have been.
Yeah, that was pretty clear to me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Moses, but kills people.
or if she wasn't a wolf, I believe she might have been a firefly at one point.
Yeah.
But
I almost thought that all of the wolves were former fireflies.
Yeah.
But I guess not. I guess they weren't.
Love how every state has a group.
Yeah.
No matter where you are, there's some group, they have a symbol, they have jerseys, they have emblems, they're legit and they're set.
Oh my god, every state
like the
it's
Rattlers.
just like college.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
They should just all play football.
Yeah.
That should be how we decide arguments in the post-apocalypse. just play football.
Real quick side note, since we're talking about football, it was because I'm from Seattle, if you guys didn't know.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I live about 30 minutes or so outside of the city now. But it was funny sort of seeing their recreation of CenturyLink.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that just made me laugh just walking through. And then, you know, you have the I don't even know what we really call it, the kind of stoplight looking thing. If you guys have ever seen what CenturyLink looks like in real life.
Okay.
But, that was just funny to me.
Okay, to ask you, because Rooster Teeth, I don't know if many of you follow them. Rooster Teeth, when The Last of Us 1 came out, that was all taking place in Austin, and they're based in Austin. So they tried like following the road that Joel drives when he leaves the house to like see how accurate it was. How accurate was CenturyLink?
CenturyLink, I would say it looked fairly accurate. Obviously, they can't do a lot of stuff just because of licensing and whatnot. But logistically, it looked good. Even just downtown Seattle, just opening up the map and seeing, oh, well, there's Westlake and there's Denny Way and all these places that I go to.
That's cool.
That was really nice to see. So
that is cool.
Is the Space Needle on an island or was just a chunk of land missing?
Okay, so I think it was on the Kind of Funny Games podcast where they had Neil and Ashley on it. They were saying that they got flooded.
Okay.
That this area of Seattle got flooded where the Space Needle is. So they were thinking it's an island because they've never seen it any other way. But yeah.
Okay.
And then somehow, mysteriously, unbeknownst to those players, Jessica Alba was sitting there in a leather jacket on the top of the Space Needle with a barcode on her neck.
Oh, I see you with the Dark Angel. Okay. You're going back now. Okay.
Wow, that was a pull.
That was a deep cut.
Yep.
Man.
I want that show to come back.
I have to say, Zane, that's hilarious hearing you going like how accurate it is, because that reminds me of Donkey's video on on Last of Us 2 because he talked about how, unlike other games where they take place in, California or New York or anywhere like that, it's nice to hear have a video game set in a place that I know intimately, Seattle. And they're showing like a little bit where it's downtown, it's a stretch. He's like, okay, got that. Wait, what the fuck? That's supposed to be the Cheesecake Factory.
Right. Yeah. I will say a game that doesn't really logistically get Seattle right, but they nail landmarks, and it was really cool to see the stuff that only people from up here know. Infamous Second Son.
Okay.
So
yeah.
cool you're from here because they have like stuff like the Pink Elephant Car Wash and Riding Ducks, like only stuff like people up here know.
Doesn't Troy Baker also voice a protagonist in that?
I think he does. I think
so.
Isn't he the voice of Delson or whatever
I believe
the
he
name
is. I believe he's Delson. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played that since launch.
I haven't played that in a long time.
I haven't played it at all.
Yeah, I don't really think you're missing much.
I played First Light. First Light was kind of cool.
Play Ghost of Tsushima. I think it's going to be their best game.
Man,
Yeah,
Just saying.
I fucking hope so.
I gotta get this posted before that comes out. Otherwise, people are gonna be like, "We have no time to listen to your damn podcast about The Last of Us 2."
I'm so fucking mad because I went to go pre-order it yesterday, and GameStop told me that they're not taking any more pre-orders because it's the week they're about to release it, and
Yep.
I really wanted to get a physical copy because I lent my friend my PlayStation 4. So after I finish with Ghost of Tsushima, I'm also going to give her Ghost of Tsushima just
Okay.
to play it.
To play through, yeah.
No, I have the collector's edition of The Last of Us Part 2. When I saw that Ellie statue, I was like, that's going to be mine.
Did you get it? You got it?
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah. Oh yes. It's
This
my baby.
thing was well worth it.
Since we're
Dude, that
talking
actually
about
looks
that,
pretty good. Like that looks like a good sculpt and everything. Like,
Yeah.
that's
so
impressive.
since you, or I'll wait till he comes back so he can hear me. But Brock, since you got the collector's edition, did yours come with the steelbook? Because I got the special edition.
Yeah. Yep. It came with the steelbook. It's
Right,
got Abby
so-
and Ellie on both sides. Yep.
That was the thing.
That's
I
cool.
did not know anything about Abby, so getting that steelbook and then flipping it over and be like, "What the fuck? Like,
you're like,
who is
who's this?
Love
Where's
interest?
Joel?
Yeah,
Yeah. The other cool thing, it's hanging on my mic stand, but you get Dina's.
Aww.
Oh
man.
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Oh, I don't like getting, like, I like having physical copies. Like there, you'll see just a useless shelf full of PS3 games that I don't touch anymore, but I like to see the box there. I barely got a hold of that Last of Us one. I was so proud of that. And now Far Cry 6 has a freaking male Scott model scale flamethrower that it comes with. I'm like, I don't think I need a quite spur for that. But yeah, video games.
You talk as much shit as you want, Crystal. There's nothing like actually owning the game.
Yeah.
Oh, do you not like physical copies?
No, it's not that I don't like physical copies. It's that I live with a hoarder.
Oh.
You should see my house's jacket closet piled. I think like 3 feet high, like 6 different piles of movies, Blu-rays. I think even some VHS tapes.
No VHS tapes. I left them back at the house.
But and then a whole bunch of games. And I
GameCube, Wii, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360. I don't have my PS4 games.
and God knows how many books.
Except for Death Strand, which I still need to finish.
Which I still make fun of him for.
same.
He just always had this thing for hoarding. He even collected nutcrackers at a time.
Wait, so hold on. You're a hoarder, but you haven't finished playing Death Stranding?
I know, I'm surprised.
All right. He's like, it's too personal. I can't
Honest
do
to
it.
God, I blame that on the podcast because at that time I was full on Death Stranding, and we were doing a Final Fantasy VII remake, and I was like, fuck, I really want to play it. And Kiona, I will never not give him props for this. Out of the goodness of his heart, I was broke at the time. He gave me the money to get Final Fantasy VII remake. It was like, here, just
Awesome,
take it
dude.
and play through the game. Let's talk about it. And I was like, oh fuck
Awesome.
yeah.
Mostly because I needed someone to talk about this game with, because I was just like going nuts about Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then I watched like Maximilian Dude on Twitch,
Yes!
and I was watching him on Twitch, and I was watching him like give his thoughts on Final Fantasy VII, and I love that guy because he's just so passionate about it. He's like, okay, so what if like Aerith knew the whole time, and then like what if like she's totally opening a rift into another dimension, and then like, dude, let's go, and I'm just like, oh,
That's a really good impersonation of Max. That cadence was perfect.
he's awesome though. He's like my generation, so I'm like, I feel a kinship there, even though of course there is no kinship, but. You know, we love you, Max. Come on our podcast. But anyway, yeah, I mean, like he was just going off about like all these different fan theories and his own theories about like what's going on with Final Fantasy VII Remake, and so I'm just like, yeah, I need an Aerith statue and I need an Ellie statue. Like, I need them to come out with another one so that I can put it on or like get it off eBay or something. I don't know.
Well, hopefully they don't do what they did with the Resident Evil ones that I didn't get a chance to get, where they spiked them like $1,000.
Yeah, that's a thing.
I hate scalpers like that.
I need a Jill statue too. I have a thing about female characters apparently. Sorry.
Hey, Jill looks awesome in that remake.
We'll get a Cloud. We'll get a Cloud in there too. We'll get a Tifa. We need the Tifa.
Oh yeah.
And the Barrett, man. That the like. There's either a statuette that Square's making, or there's like an action figure, like a Play Arts Kai action figure of Barrett that just looks awesome because he's so huge.
I'm sorry. I know I instigated this, but for the Renegade arcade purposes, I want to get a billboard. I want to get like a dry board, and on it says number of podcasts where Fiona hasn't gushed about Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then just constantly like just
having to.
It'll never happen. It'll never happen. I'll never stop. I'm sorry, guys. That's right now. That's my front runner for Game of the Year. But you know, we'll see.
We'll get a ticker with you talking about Final Fantasy VII. A ticker with me talking about Doom.
Yeah.
See how long we can keep that up.
I was going to say, if I'm on more shows, you will hear me bring up Horizon and Resident Evil quite a bit, so that would be mine.
We'll pull a Simon Miller and we'll just have like the little thing come down from the side.
You are into literally every YouTuber I'm into, for crying out loud.
I knew you would get that. I was like, I have a feeling this guy watches Ups and Downs at least with Simon Miller.
Here's why. God.
Exactly. Why? There you go.
Oh man. Gosh dang it.
Man.
The roll-up counter. I know exactly what you're talking
about. Yes, the roll-up counter. That's what the most devastating move in all of professional wrestling.
It's taking out more people than the Burning Hammer. I'm just telling you right now.
Okay, right. I think so. Being that we have now become a regular episode of Renegade Arcade and are now away from spoilers for The Last of Us 2, I think it's time to call it, guys. Do you have any final thoughts before we go?
To quote Josh, actually, from earlier, Troy did the exact same thing on his Twitter where he was bringing up stuff where it's like, yeah, I heard, oh man, now I can't even think of it. I heard that, oh gosh, that Citizen Kane was about his sled, saved me $10 and I didn't buy it. Troy actually put that on his Twitter. That's an exact quote. But I was like, please play a game first, then judge it. That's all I ask. If you do not like it afterwards, trash it all you want. But for the love of God, experience it first. That's all I got to say. I like the game. Just give something a chance before you hate it. You're entitled to your opinion. Mm-hmm. Just make sure you actually see the thing before you make it.
I'll say, I just want to add on to that. If you don't like the game, don't ruin it for people that do love the game. And people who do love the game, don't ruin it for people who do not.
That's right.
Everything is subjective. It's just art. Right. Enjoy your shit, and don't be a jackass to people on the internet. That's it.
I give this game a completionist rating of finish it. That's what I'm. My final word on Last of Us 2 until my video's done.
Yeah, my final words are, play it before you state your opinion on it. And to those of you who are saying like that, I don't believe it because Abby's buff, fuck off. You have no opinion.
Okay, final word to my final word. Just don't understand stories. God damn it! Not understand subtext in the game. Don't just be like, well, what's this? What's that? Don't be a CinemaSins.
Understand that just because you don't like something doesn't mean it's horrible. You just don't like it.
You just don't like it.
Nitpicks aren't criticisms. Okay, that's it. Final word.
It's the subjectivity of film. and game, as one of my favorite YouTubers also says. Subjectivity of film and media, basically. Well, all right, guys. So this has been a fun episode, and I don't think we even talked about everything. But when you guys are on, the next shows, and if something comes up, we can always talk about it because Last of Us 2, man, it's a seminal game of the year. It is not the game of the year yet, but it's one of the best games I think that has come out.
Still gotta beat my boy Bug Snacks. Crash Bandicoot 4.
I mean, Kenna looks pretty cool, but
That
Also,
does.
everyone
That looks
caught
cool.
the really offhanded Crash Bandicoot reference.
Yes.
Smash Brandy's cooch.
Smash
Oh,
Brandy's
yeah.
cooch.
That's it. I'm not going to talk anymore. We're ending, but I just had to get that out. My lord, I didn't
I
catch that
loved
first.
it.
Someone pointed it out to me.
Yeah. When I heard that, I was like, wait, that sounds like something. And then somebody said, wait, did you get the Crash Bandicoot reference? And I was like, oh my god, that's what it was. Okay, guys, we're gonna end this. So let me just ask you guys, where can we find you on social media?
I don't know. Where can we find each other on social media?
I say Brock and Zane head this up first.
Okay, pretty much me, literally everything at Organoid Zero. I've gotten to the point where I've gotten it all put out. It's one word, and normally the Z is capitalized as well. Not on Twitter that much, mostly on Twitch and YouTube, which, shameless plug, I had to wait until we were done here. I will be uploading a previous spoiler cast I did with some friends of mine about The Last of Us, so that'll be going up on there probably tomorrow.
Oh, sweet.
Oh,
Sweet.
Yep.
Yeah, tag us in that too. Tag Renegade Pop Culture on
I will do
Twitter
that.
for that one.
Sure.
Okay, Zane, where can we find
you
you?
can find me. Yeah, you can find me at Lil Salsa Boy. That's Lil Salsa Boy 2 Eyes. Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. What's up?
Awesome.
Oh geez, you gotta go last as always
Yes.
because you're the longest. You can find me at simply_ragu816 on Twitter and on TikTok.
Oh,
Because he always makes me plug it. And you can find me under my name, Crystal Gillum, on the Renegade Pop Culture Facebook group.
You always talk shit about your TikTok. The Franz Kafka TikTok. It's the best.
It's not.
You can find me at Twitter at JSH Lozano, and you can find me on Facebook at the Renegade Pop Culture Group, and you can find me on YouTube at JoshBoy64. I just uploaded last week a video on The Last of Us called For the Love of The Last of Us, and
Nice.
sometime tomorrow I'm going to have a video on Naughty Dog called Naughty Dog Empathy Through Gameplay, which it's exactly what it is. It's a video essay about Naughty Dog's way to create empathy through various gameplay segments from Uncharted 3 all the way to The Last of Us Part 2.
And everybody should also check out his One Marvelous Scene video that he did a long time ago, and also the Game of Thrones trilogy of videos that he made as well. Everybody should check those out because they're awesome. And I still want to post them on the site, Josh, whenever you're ready.
And my Ready Player
And your Ready Player One. Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
topical. Woo!
Brock and Zane, I don't know if you guys saw this, but we did a free-for-all show where we just basically it was us having a free-for-all on Ernest Klein. And Ready
really?
Player One and just shredding him. Yes.
Oh no. Oh no. That's not good.
I
That's
haven't
not
read
good.
the book. I saw the movie when it came out in the theater, and I fell asleep. I thought it was so fucking bad.
I have heard many things about both. I have not read the book, and I have seen the movie. I thought it was really cool that I got to see a Gundam in it and Chucky tear apart some people. I don't know a lot of the context, but it's like I can understand where the tearing apart would come because I've heard a lot of the same from my roommate. So
If they just had more moments like the Shining thing, would have been good.
Yeah.
But
Dude, that was the most unhinged that our podcast has ever been, other than this one, maybe. But I think this is the second most unhinged episode that we've had so far. Okay. So we are done, guys. All right. So you can find me at Kiona Tang on Twitter, and also at Ren Pop Culture on Twitter, Ren Pop Culture. Also on Facebook as well. And you can find us now on SoundCloud, which is pretty awesome. Just do a search for my name, KeonaTang. You'll find it. And that is pretty much it at this point. Oh, yeah, anchor.fm/Renegade Pop Culture. That is where we host our podcast. It has links to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, whatever you guys decide that you use for podcast listening. So, all right, everybody have a good one. Everybody stay safe, take care of each other, be nice, be kind, and we will see you guys on the next episode of Renegade Arcade. Peace out.
Later.
Peace.
Fuck Owen. Bye.
I can see you thinking of the hurt now. Gotta get a new build of life. There's a seed that's evil in the soil now. It's not the life you wanted. It's just a fading scene, like a shadow on the run. Yeah. One take from the bottle. All it takes is one swallow to get an absent mind. You wanna lose your mind. It's what makes you hollow. Like sheep you follow to get an absent mind. You wanna lose your mind. I can see you coming up with dreams now. Sober life one day at a time. There's no escape.